Good evening and welcome to Florida Legacy Club. We're going to be doing a replay of our recent Legacy Monthly at Arena Comics. And with me tonight, I've got Ben, aka Ghost Wheel. Welcome, Ben.
Happy to be here. Fans of the show will know that I'm a seasoned Storm player, and I'm about to comment a bunch of matches that aren't that, so we'll see how that goes.
Right on. Thanks, Ben. All right, here we go. For our first match, we've got me on the left playing four-color Beanstalk, Control. And on the right, we have a newcomer, Jeremiah, who is piloting Grixis Delver.
So we've seen Control versus Delver on, a bunch of these. I mean, any fan of the Florida Legacy Club will recognize the personalities and decks after weeks and months of watching this stuff. People tend to be reasonably set in their ways, but we both have a new player on Delver and a new variant of Delver with Grixis Delver. I don't remember seeing that very often here. And the biggest thing that you get from playing Grixis Delver is the Psychic Frog. It seems to be a new standout creature in Legacy ever since MH3.
Yeah, I agree. The frog is incredible, and here it looks like Jeremiah's going to play a turn one Tameo.
Yep, nice art on that Tameo. 03 attacks makes a clue, flips into a Planeswalker that stalls the board if you draw some cards, but those clues are pretty good, at least in the early game.
Yeah, Tameo's been interesting. Some of the local players have been testing with it, and I think the results are mixed, but I think it has potential.
I agree that it has potential, and I'm not the biggest expert in this kind of thing. I'm sure it's nice to have a creature that's a player is it's a little difficult to kill, and your opponent might be a little reluctant to kill, but is generating you clues which will eventually draw you cards. It certainly looks pretty good in a long drawn out game like this where we're playing against control here. You've just played two lands and are inviting this Tamio to attack here. So
I agree. Jeremiah plays a wasteland and crashes in with the 0-3 Tameo.
I'm glad you saw that wasteland because that glare was a little too much for me.
Yeah, I caught it just before the glare.
Yep, there's the clue. Now, I mean, spoiler alert, but this is one of the rounds I remember personally going to time. So we are gonna be having an evening of this one here. Delver's gonna be playing some cards. We're gonna be trading resources very very slowly, and however this match ends, it's gonna be a bit of a grinder. We got the Delver hitting the field, the namesake card. Um, how do you feel in this position as you're playing this game, Jason?
Definitely don't like seeing the wasteland, but I think I had a couple of extra lands in my hand, so it didn't feel too devastating.
There's a brainstorm in response to the wasteland. Yeah, you may have to adjust the setup here if the glare's going to be like this.
Yeah, I forgot. I've been doing it a little lower and it helps, but it didn't help today.
Oh, we can point things out. We got people's backs. Just get that mana use out of there. You got the fetch to crack away for anything you want, or miracle, or whatever. But you liked that card. You draw it.
Yep, chose not to fetch off the brainstorm.
More fetches. We're fully wasteland proof at this point. Delver doesn't flip. Another land hits in. That's a scalding tarn.
Yeah, I'm happy
But
to see
patient.
that and not a wasteland.
Yep. Happy to see no flip. Happy to see no wasteland. But patience is the name of the game here. The Delver player has to be a little proactive. But I mean, you're running Terminus in your deck. You're running, plenty of interaction. So it's like just a little bit at a time. Get your clues from your Tamio. Get your like one or two creatures in, like a Delver and a DRC or a Murktide or something, and just try and protect it with forces and dazes and wastelands and all that stuff. That's the Delver playbook, the ABCs.
Yep, that's the name of the game for sure.
Basic forest. That'll show them.
That's right.
Get your wastelands out of here.
I have so much PTSD from Wasteland, I'm running three basics.
Yeah. I don't. It's like my vintage PTSD. Every time I get my basic, they strip mine me. It's like, ah,
Fire Blast.
oh no, dude.
Rise to progress. There's some fun
I
cards.
saw a post the other day from Justin. I'm actually level 1. He had a Pithing Needle naming Wasteland. Opponent immediately played a strip mine and strip mined his land.
Get the basic island out there so we can play our up the beanstalk here and draw a card from it. Very nice looking basics. Very nice looking beanstalk.
Trigger draw.
Indicates for you to draw the card. Is good.
I played a land.
Think you still have like 6 or 7 cards in your hand here.
Because you wastelanded me.
Yeah, definitely happy to stick a beanstalk here. That's one way I can accrue value over time, obviously.
I mean, you're sitting here playing around days by having a land. You presumably have more counter spells, but if you get that beanstalk out there before the counter fights, you start drawing cards after every counter spell. So,
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was holding on to that beanstalk, as I recall, I think for my opening hand, but just taking time to play around days, like you said.
fetching at the end step, cracking the clue. Okay, I was like, we're not shuffling away a brainstorm here, but no, we can crack the clue. Yeah, I mean, the sort of hidden value of these clues in Delver or in Control any deck that has instant speed stuff going on. Um, is that you can just leave your mana up for counterfights, and then like if that mana doesn't get used, you just always get to spend it. It's true in limited, and it's definitely true in constructed.
Yeah, especially good in these grindy matchups, like you said. This Delver finally flips for Jeremiah.
Underground. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the underground sea. The Grixis is coming out to play.
Grixis confirmed.
Frog is an interesting addition against Control, right? Like we haven't seen it yet, but we assume it's coming at some point. Like Frog is definitely there's a Dragon's Rage channeler, by the way. Um, like you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket against a control deck, but like you don't really have to for Frog to work. Like you can attack for one a bunch and draw a bunch of cards, and the control player still feels sad.
Yeah, absolutely. Frog is such a versatile card.
We play a bauble and surveil another bauble into the graveyard. We're getting one step closer to that delirium.
Ponder's good.
Ponder puts us another step closer, and if we surveil an instant into the graveyard, we're just there, baby.
Dragon Rage.
Well, creature will work too. Yep, there it is.
Little Ponder.
Got a full value DRC.
Flooded Strand. Go.
Likes those cards. I imagine you're just looking for counter magic in this position as Delver, or at the very least, like
Combat.
more card advantage cards.
Yeah, I agree. Jeremiah's done a good job developing his creatures here, and just probably wants to keep the pressure on my life total.
Yep, is a bigger hit. Flip Delver plus Tamio. You've asked the question, and now it's time to respond as the control player. You haven't countered much going on here, so you have presumably something in your hand that'll help stabilize the board here. Yeah, being generously showing that Uro to the camera. That's going right in the grip.
Fetch a turn step.
Oh
Oh no,
no,
it isn't.
that would have been a good draw, but I fetched it
Yeah.
away.
Grabbing
You just don't want me to know you had it. Shuffle.
a scrubland. And I will.
That's funny. In a modern tournament once, someone Jace plus 2'd me and left it on top because I had a fetch, and I fetched it away, and then they proceeded to taunt me afterwards. They said, "Aha, I left it. I knew it was good for you, but you fetched it away." I'm like,
The mind
okay,
games.
you could have just put it on the bottom, but you felt like you had to have this like power over me. Like,
the mind games. All right, brain step at Endstorm here. Let's see if we can set up a miracle, perhaps.
yeah, that's surely why we're doing this. The fetch brainstorm is kind of too valuable otherwise. You either
Right.
like most of your hand or you're setting up a miracle.
Attack.
Terminus fight would be pretty good for you here. Yep, there we go.
No, plus on your
That's a
attack.
Terminus. We're paying one for it. 2 mana floating.
Legacy.
Looks like 3 cards, 4 cards in the Delver grip.
Oh, we got loner.
I think you're.
Yeah, I suspect we'll see a fight over this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fight that you're gonna win most of the time, just from where I'm sitting.
Go to 22 and get a wow.
So for those in chat, Terminus is a 6 mana spell, but it has miracle cost of 1 white. Place all creatures on the bottom of their owner's library in any order.
Do you think that this is an overextension from the Delver player to get the DRC out there and start putting Ponders in? Or do you think that this was exactly what was needed to bring the Terminus out and that they're going to have a reload after this happens?
I
Force
think I'm
pitching force.
yeah, I think I'm okay playing the DRC and just kind of advancing the board state. Keep that on top. Okay, so brainstorm. I'll respond. I will island cycle.
A Lorien revealed.
So Jeremiah's casting Force targeting Terminus. I've got a draw trigger on the stack, and in response, I'm cycling Lorien revealed.
That does shuffle the brainstorm from earlier.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Tundra and shuffle.
That's fine. Presumably you've got something else to do about this.
Sure. Combat.
Yeah, I believe so, and then, not wanting to draw what was on top with the brainstorm.
Yeah.
Okay, in response to Force of Will.
It's like a spell period. Oh, no, it's another brainstorm.
Might be digging for a counter here. Yeah. Got the days. Jeremiah's holding priority on the brainstorm.
Plus Kaya exiling the
2 cards in hand. Okay, brainstorm resolves.
That's good.
whatever. Yeah. I'll gain 2 and go to 6.
I might daze a brainstorm in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday Canyon, sack it to draw.
We don't know what's in his hand, but
And stuff. Yeah, Sauron's Ransom. So I'll show you the top 4.
These 2.
Put them into 2 piles.
And Force of Will resolves.
One face up, one face down.
yeah, so we let the counter go. That's a bit awkward, but we do have a draw trigger on the stack still.
Oh no, I missed my draw
We
trigger.
took it, yeah.
Or did I draw already?
I don't think you did.
Oh wait, no, I think I did after the Lorien revealed. Right? I don't know. I think I did miss it.
Because after Lorien reveal wouldn't have been the right time, because this force
That's
in
right.
response to draw trigger. Maybe I missed it somewhere in the brainstorming, but
Yeah, perhaps. Alright, Jeremiah's crunching in for 6. Yeah, trigger's fine. And then before damage, I'll cast Swords.
another clue. Swords in the DRC.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the danger of not playing DRC. Then your whole board kind of folds the swords. Oh, we are dazing the swords.
Yep, so we did have the days. I take 6.
Binning a land.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah's sequenced this very well the last couple turns.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, if you don't daze a brainstorm, you get to daze the other counter magic. It is really important to win this Terminus fight.
Yeah.
We're now representing like another 6 damage in the air.
Oh, I think I pointed out I did forget the draw trigger on that exchange. The Terminus fight. From the Terminus.
It's a volcanic hitting the board.
Exiling 5 instances and sorcerers.
And I will...
5 instances.
Basics and duels as Garfield intended.
That's
Right
right.
next to each other. Another clue getting cracked.
-1 in exile the Soul Scar Mage.
Solitude coming in without being able to pay for days, which is nice. These clues are really proven to be the difference maker right now. Like, this Tamio is not really a swordsable target, and it's just made a bunch of these clues where you can pay 2 to draw wherever.
Yeah, Jeremiah's
I might
definitely
be a
getting some
believer.
nice incremental value there.
And then Fire Blasting.
That DRC should be exiled, but it should hardly matter.
Oh yeah, good point.
Oh, you're not. Oh,
Oh, your hard
Hard
cast.
cast.
Pass.
Yep. Untap. Draw.
I could have looked
Swing
this
for
up,
8.
but I also was trying to win, you know.
And then I'll -5 Kaya. You'll
Okay.
take damage equal to the amount of cards in your
Drawing our
hand.
card here.
More than 6.
Probably should just start by going for your attacks. Yep, that's what we do.
Yep. Take 3. Both these
Unlikely
creatures
to be
have
able to do
flying.
anything. Yep.
Oh, trigger. Did you get your trigger?
So much evasion these days.
Yeah.
We've got all the clues that we want. Brainstorm. That's liable to flip that Tamio.
Draw. Resolve. I don't know the ordering.
Yeah.
of the
So
triggers.
what'll happen is you'll resolve that, and then her trigger will go on the stack.
We're explaining how the trigger works, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah, the timing of the Tamio flip. So her trigger goes on the stack.
Yeah, the way that it works is you fully resolve Brainstorm, and then the flip trigger goes on the stack.
Every deck has bad runs. So. Don't get me wrong.
Flip Tamio is not even that important here. I mean, like, it's definitely attacked and giving you enough clues that it doesn't really need to be a creature anymore. And it'll shrink Solitude. It's +2. Make all your opponent's creatures -1, -0 when they attack you next turn. So it definitely means that it'll be harder to kill the Tamio. And it also means that you'll be gaining less life off of the Solitude. If you do let Tamio go unchecked, and it pluses a few times, it has an ultimate which allows you to draw half your deck, which is obviously great. And even in the interim, you can -3 to pick up a... What is it? Is it an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, or is it any card?
I think it's instant or sorcery. I just posted the text in chat. Let's see. -3, return target instant or sorcery. Yep.
And you get a green mana if it was a green card, which is not something I've ever seen come up in competitive play. But,
Yeah.
I mean, picking up a Force or a Ponder is absolutely not nothing if you just let this go unchecked.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're bolting Solitude. That is also essentially damage,
Yeah.
preventing you from gaining the life. Alright, so you've got a few cards in your hand. You've got some lands now. No real need to worry about Wasteland anymore. You're kind of hoping at this point to stick another Solitude.
Yeah, Solitude
board
would be
cards
nice. Maybe Miracle of my one of Triumph of St. Catherine for some life gain.
Sanctuary trigger. Will target Swords to Plowshares.
Fourth Aerlingus isn't fast enough. Uro's good enough. If you find Uro, that can be
Yeah,
super
or would be
important.
good. Here's Mystic Sanctuary. Gonna put Swords to Plowshares back on top.
So that'll go on top.
Mystic Sanctuary, always super great.
Grab a Tundra.
Okay.
Dragging the storm numbers stuff into the weekly stats. So shame for my people.
Beanstalk.
And then I'll play Psychic Front.
What's that? Shame on your cow.
Yes.
Trigger draw.
It does a lot
Beans.
of different weird things.
Another Beanstalk. Draw that Swords.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yep, just go for the swords.
Cast Swords. Trigger draw.
See what happens.
Hardcast or Riftbolt.
It may not be Solitude and get you back in the game, but the Delver player then has to find another threat after this. They bid a DRC in the Surveil to get Delirium in the first place.
Discard Wasteland to Psychic Front.
Didn't play more threats after the Terminus fight. You're brainstorming again. I don't think we shuffled since the last one. I might be wrong about that.
Swords resolve. Okay. So you gain 3. I gotta start dealing
Didn't
damage
find
at
the
some
answers
point.
we were looking for with that brainstorm.
I'll pass.
Delver goes
Tamio
away.
could prove to be relevant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so yeah, without it being a Solitude and without you having added to the board state in addition to like deleting their board state, now the Tamio just gets to tick up with impunity.
Yeah.
it's threatening to go off and draw half your deck in a couple of turns.
Yep.
And do you have prismatic ending in the main board, or
I do. I have
is
a one of prismatic ending.
a one of prismatic ending? That is nice because Tameo still counts as a 1 mana card, very easy to kill with prismatic ending. But beyond that, you're kind of strapped for answers in a control deck. Leyline bindings,
I do. I was gonna say this particular build. I
yeah,
do have access to leyline bindings.
yeah, that'll help. But the rest of your removal, your Terminuses, your Solitudes, your Swords, that's creature removal. And here's a frog. I mean,
That resolve.
that's a high quality creature. It threatens to just end the game if you discard some cards to it, and it certainly gets close even without that.
Yeah, absolutely. Frog hitting the board here is pretty scary for me.
Now the big question is like, do we take up with the Tameo and try and threaten the end game where we draw a bunch of cards, or do we go down and like pick up lightning bolts and just say, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
But Tameo takes up. We want to prioritize inevitability, and if it doesn't get binding, I mean, like it could even pick up 2 cards over the next 2 turns and just like bolt them a couple times. So there's a Bauble seeing prismatic ending.
It was shiny, so
Oh.
That is nice.
Hard to see.
see what it was.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah, I mean, like I thought my hand was pretty good, but it wasn't like. The
Yeah.
awkward thing as the control player is like you can't really tap out now because if you get caught with your pants down, like all those cards can go to pitch into the frog and then it'll just kill you right away.
That's
so
right.
It's like you got to leave up mana to at
Oh,
least
yeah.
threaten leyline binding. I know Solitude's free, but
Trigger drop.
there's the third Beanstalk. Now even a free Solitude is drawing you a bunch of cards. We're exiling Frog with the pending,
Target frog.
indicating that we really want this thing gone.
Discard an island of the frog. Swing for 5. Draw a card from the frog.
Here's a fetch and response.
Play another one.
Yep.
Here you go.
Grabs another Underground Sea, seemingly. No, we're paging past it.
Frog is so good.
Yep, we found Underground Sea.
Frog is the truth. So I'm paying 2 mana each. And red and blue, or excuse me, white and blue.
2 draw triggers. Third frog.
You're like, I'm not cutting this deck. We're gonna go to time. Oh, we're cracking the clue.
You got it.
Uh-oh.
Trying
Seems
to find
desperate.
counter magic.
Seems
Yeah.
desperate.
Oh,
I like
good.
it. All right.
Frog's gone.
Alright,
There's that Tameo lurking in the background. You used your prismatic ending on the frog, so we gotta find leyline binding or something.
I know. Now this Tameo's threatening to draw half Jeremiah's deck.
And you know, I've talked about drawing half your deck. I didn't mention that I think you get no maximum hand size for the rest of the game when you do this. So
That's right.
you're not even discarding any of those cards.
No!
Frog's out again.
A backup frog.
Yeah, one good frog deserves another.
Oh man, I hate to see that. Wow, Jeremiah just reloading here.
Another Delver. And we've seen Mystic Sanctuary already. Like,
You're gonna draw half your freaking.
this is traditionally a one of in these decks, so it's not like you're gonna get Terminus again.
That's
in this
right.
Situation. If you get the green light to play another creature, so that single target removal isn't all that good anymore.
Forgot
Like,
to flip. Thank you, Ben.
we have Bolt in the graveyard. We can go pick it up with Tameo and put you to 1
Yeah.
and attack for 2 creatures that are going to do some damage, drawing half your deck aside.
That's right.
Just to deal.
That'll draw you a couple bolts right there.
Who you stand next to when you wear the I'm a stupid t-shirt so you make yourself look better.
Count a bunch of mana.
Yeah, counting some mana here. What do we got?
Hardcast Terminus. Trigger.
What do we have?
Hardcast Terminus.
All non-land.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Just, no.
Paying 6,
creatures,
drawing
yeah.
3 cards.
Used to have Tameo.
That's a backbreaker.
Neil.
Jeremiah looks like he's 2 cards in hand.
Draw 3.
I doubt any of them are counter spells.
And any
Cards going to the bottom. That Hardcast Terminus is notably not an answer for that Tameo, though. I
That's
think
right.
we're about to draw some cards here.
3.
It is certainly looking that way.
Lightning bolt. We will.
But it was necessary. It's exactly what you needed.
Yeah. Let's see if I drew a leyline binding. It's my only hope from stopping this Tameo.
Not in my hand. But I think it's
Search
easier
for it.
just to grab my whole, or I mean,
Yeah.
out of my graveyard. But I think it's easier just to.
Draw half
Draw
your
half
deck.
my
Yeah,
deck.
Okay, I
that's the move.
fetched white mana. Let's see what we do with it.
Pretty good chance I'll draw or get another one.
Unfortunately.
See, this is the point at which if we did pick up Lightning Bolt with him, we could have prevented even this fetch. There is a leyline binding.
Yeah, so I found the leyline binding. Draw 3. Yeah, and you're right, Ben. After this game, Jeremiah and I talked. The decision point there to tick up Tameo or to tick down and grab Lightning Bolt.
Underneath it. And I will pass.
It's interesting to me because I'm trying to think about what you're trying to play around here, and I think like the big thing is like Uro, right? Like you get a Miracle Terminus, and then like you jam Uro and gain life at a
Right,
point
and then
where
you kind
picking
of
up
get out
Lightning
of,
Bolt would have been good.
yeah, get
Where
out of range.
if you did hold on and your Tameo didn't get removed, then obviously drawing you all the cards wins you the game too. I don't think it's a clear decision one way or the other. I just like
I
talking
agree.
through these things.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what Jeremiah and I talked about after the game. I think you could make a case for either decision. But happy to have Jeremiah. He's new to our local legacy. He's a friend and local player, but relatively new to the legacy scene. So really happy to have him
That's true.
join
He's been
us.
around for quite a while. He's been
Oh yeah,
playing,
yeah. He and I.
at least Meyer and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, here's a Murktide, very timely.
mhm. Yeah, you've just. I mean, I say you spent all your gas in the tank taking care of all this stuff, but here we see the power of the triple Beanstalk here. Drew 6 cards doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You
crazy.
reloaded far more than you expected.
Yep.
What do you mean?
So you got another binding or
I've only
something
drawn
in
like
your
6
hand.
cards. Yeah. Um, cast Uro.
That looks like an Uro to me.
Yep. There's Uro. Gain some life.
Draw a card. Put a land.
No land.
No put a land? Alright, no put a land. Well, then we're binding the Murktide. Another
Draw 3.
Do you not have a swamp in this deck somewhere?
I have a Triome, but I haven't fetched for some reason.
Playing against bees.
Yeah, I do have a Triome with a swamp.
Draw 3. 1, 2, 3. ETB target.
I saw zero side.
Yeah, even just off of like
I'm not
the
looking.
modern card pool, right? Like Force of Will definitely makes Beanstalk an attractive option, and like, oh, because it was in your hand. There's a swamp.
There's the Triome, yeah. I think I might have drawn it off one of those triggers.
Oh yeah, that makes some sense. But yeah, you also have the modern Lego card pool, right? Leyline Binding being like Ancestral Recall Swords to Plowshares, and like
Yeah, crazy
Evoke
value.
Elementals like doing the same thing. It's just like I can't believe that card was legal in Modern for as long as it was.
Yeah, that was a
It wasn't
wild
even
time.
It wasn't even that long, but it felt like it to me because of that whole RCQ season.
Right. Yeah, I was playing Beans in Legacy and Modern. It was glorious.
I think Beans is a good card for Legacy, though. It's nice to go
Yeah.
in these control decks.
Yeah, I'm biased, but I agree. Here's another frog. Frog making a
Yeah,
showing
the
here.
frogs just keep coming,
Yeah.
but so do the swords. I mean, at this point, you feel bad for the Delver player. They just get buried in card advantage.
Yeah.
And like we know that the Uro's on the back end. Yeah, he sees the writing on the wall. We know there's more games to play here, so
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly fault him for conceding here.
Yeah. I got just barely able to stabilize.
Hey, Drink Mass, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Yeah, I would almost rather just do that than have a dead card, a super dead card. Yeah, because the Ferryman costs a better bullet in those little. I just need to hit one thing. Right. Yeah, it's better.
All right, going to sideboards here.
Wonder if I should
Well,
down take Tameo
So what are you sideboarding and how are you feeling about
before
Delver in general and Grixis Delver in
I
particular?
don't think I was at 3 yet.
I feel decent against this matchup just because I have so much white removal.
Yeah.
I do typically bring in the 2 carpeted flowers.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe ours was
to help,
pressure
you know,
that
play around Wasteland.
drawing half your deck seems good too.
I think I side out a couple of Force Negations. I'm already running 3 Terminus main boards, so we're good on that.
Yeah, that all helps.
I pondered so much.
And as the Delver player, what do you expect him to bring in against you? What are you afraid of here?
Probably some Pyroblasts. If they were on Izzet, I might be concerned about something like a Blood Moon, but with Grixis, we don't have to worry as much about that. Perhaps some Graveyard Hate for Uro. Price of Progress occasionally, but again, not so much in these Grixis shells.
Yeah, they need to fix too much for that.
Yeah.
When you pick it, it's anything.
What a card.
And then you just go get the
They need to ban that one and ban AUG.
Yeah, ban them all.
Just ban Cody into the ground.
The deck is fine.
Yeah, that deck's awesome.
It's interesting thinking about that game because, like, there was definitely a point
No, I'm just kidding.
where you were very pressured to do specific things to stay alive. And this is the pain point that the Delver player wants to press. And so, like, they almost got there in their aggression, but not quite. So it's sort of just like, which knob needs to be turned what way for them to have taken the right risks to have taken the game before you turn it around by playing your 5-cost cards that let you draw a bunch of cards with the Beanstalks, right? How
Right.
much time do you really have in these kinds of situations? That's what I love about playing aggro versus control as the aggro side, right? There's lots and lots of math for how you're supposed to curve out your own conversion of resources into damage.
Yeah, it's a good point. Do you lean more into your, your game plan, or try to play bits and pieces to stall your control opponent a little?
Specifically, like double furying my whole board actually is enough to like get through some of the grind. Like we had like Soul Quadrant and everything to get through it. Sort of like as the Fury ban was happening. We just didn't need the help. We didn't need Fury to get banned. And now they have the grief scam decks with the what's it called, the Esper Glorious decks.
The shuffling continues. Magic the shuffle.
Oh no!
All right, we've started.
Whoops.
We've kept some hands.
Oh no, I drew 10 cards. What am I gonna do?
Yeah,
I happen to
I
get
drew
up on
the-
it, but then I have to discard them.
I drew
Oh,
the best
no!
12 out of the top 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the thing is that deck's. Oh, my upkeep, I get to fight. I get
Deploying
to
a land.
Oh no!
Get a threat out there.
Yeah.
DR3 is a good threat.
Yeah, good
Better
start
Delver
for the
than
Delver
double.
player.
More Traxxas to my cleanup stuff. Oh wow, silly.
That is Brainstorm
Ponder.
or Ponder.
Yeah, basic island. Happy to see that. And Ponder, I'll take it.
Yep. But you shuffled what was in it, so
Yeah.
didn't take those.
Baron balance magic.
Draw for Ponder?
I get Traxxas real
At
quick.
least they
Go
don't
ahead.
get like real reanimation. It's like, you know.
It's just the fact that like attracts up brains of them, right? You know, probably.
The fact
Get the frog out there? No, Bishop's Bauble. Let's surveil.
and is a good body and doesn't have the anti-reanimation text that some cards do is like I would even accept that you still being able to Goryo's it, like you can Goryo's it.
Gonna leave that one.
Like the sorcery speed reanimation should not work on this card. After so many years of them like being careful with that kind of stuff.
Get in for one.
Yeah.
Gotta take your damage when you can. Oh, baby. Can't play it, though.
Can't cast that, can we?
That is Triumph of St. Catherine, one of the important miracle cards in the deck.
Game 4 life. I ended the game with 4 life. Let's go.
Ooh, Pyroblast on the Brainstorm.
Yeah, you didn't play another land. It's a sign of weakness.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, Jeremiah trying to capitalize here.
any Delver player worth their salt knows that, I mean,
Like 6 or 7 cards out of your deck.
you're going to want to try and play around Days if you can. So we're actually pitching force this Pyroblast. That's a good read on Jeremiah's end because
Yeah, absolutely.
you're happy to get your opponent to discard 2 forces in the situation.
Yeah.
You got it, nerd?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Jeremiah sensing the weakness there, fighting over the brainstorm, ends up getting two more cards out of my hand.
I did have to get the Valga spawn.
Yeah, game one should just be a win for Storm.
And the AUG was
Yeah, that one's like what 80 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would never expect to. You take those when you do them.
I sold all that time.
Brainstorm resolving right now.
I ended up not selling Phoenix.
This is where you hope that you did find a land, and hopefully even a fetch land, and don't brainstorm lock yourself into oblivion.
Yeah.
Two.
I'm crossing my fingers for no Amalia ban, so I'm not just
Play a land for turn.
The one thing worse than drawing garbage is knowing you're going to draw garbage.
That's right.
I looked at the Pioneer community, all they do is complain about
Brainstorm of
and they point
Jeremiah's own coming out.
at Amalia.
Surveil trigger.
No, but like then they get it, but then they actually get it banned.
Could this be Delirium?
But like it's
It is.
worse because you're a company and it's bad.
Murktide goes to the graveyard.
I mean, yeah, bad optics. Don't listen to your community. Meanwhile, grief.
Yeah, it's true. Of course, all of my opinions are refined and justified, and all of their opinions are.
Now, I think if you have a sorcery in your hand, you might reasonably want Murktide off the Brainstorm. Like,
Yeah.
you play a Ponder and then you play Murktide and your DRC has Delirium anyway. So what this tells me is that
No, they're still going.
either probably has more creatures as threats to the play and is looking for, like, instants and sorceries, or doesn't have another way to get Delirium, and that the Delirium is really important. And it is.
Selfish though, like Pioneer, in my opinion,
Attacking for 3 is way, way, way better than attacking for 1.
combo decks exist.
Yep, absolutely.
People who like Pioneer do not like combo decks. So
Couldn't
they-
you? I mean, if they
Frog coming out.
just play like,
It's a bona fide threat.
like
Sure, it's all islands.
We are cycling Warrior and revealed. The lands keep coming, and so do the Brainstorm shuffles.
Yep, shuffle those cards away.
Tundra.
Lore and Reveal, it's been such a nice upgrade for these types of decks.
Oh, for the Brasking Brood Scale.
yeah, that
Pitches to 4, shuffles your library, and you can cast it and draw 3.
Hey, you're playing a Beanstalk deck. Let's aim a little higher. We can draw like 5 cards, 6 cards.
Yeah, let's play a free spell and draw 3 cards.
Wait, what?
sword.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Land for turn.
There's a Flooded Strand.
Alright, so we're not at the point where we feel we have to wrath this yet, but, you know, it'd be nice. Presumably the Delver player has stocked up. Like, they used their anti-blue counterspell already, so if they're fighting over a Terminus or whatever, they may have Dazes, they may have Forces.
Yeah.
3 or 4 well-selected cards in the hand, by my count, so...
I don't think the Salt Monolith is legal with Pioneer.
The power of DLC, like, all these Surveil triggers and, like, all these cantrip spells, like, you get so much selection.
19.
There's a lot of invisible sculpting that, you know, you can't really see when you're watching this match, but, like, that you understand and have to take into account for when you're the Delver player's opponent, or even when you're just, like, trying to assess the game state from
Did you
a
get there?
That's right.
third-party position as we are.
Looks
I'm
like we
trying to
got...
play Beanstalk here, though.
Yeah,
so.
Beanstalk on the stack. I believe Jeremiah's fetching in response.
I'm never gonna cut. I trust you. Yeah.
More brainstorming.
Trigger's good, yeah.
Yeah. They should have made Lurrus 2 mana so you could put Lurrus in your Lurrus.
I think that was the play. Actually. Dude, who thought Companion in its initial form was 5 though? Like, you could just play this for 3. What is
Do you
it?
think we could put Zerta back in Legacy now that it costs 3 to put in your hand? Like, I think it was
That's a
banned pre.
good question.
Like,
Trigger draw.
I think it was banned pre-change, right?
That's a good question.
I've
You
played
might
a
be.
land. Go.
Like, it's consistent, but it is like.
Alright, we got a Beanstalk.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. Put
So you have red-blue untapped, which means you could be playing your own Pyroblast here. Do you run that in the?
I do in the
game?
sideboard, yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that. It is,
Yeah. So the frog could be going down here to one of those.
yeah.
Perhaps a bit ambitious to be running this DRC out there, but we are potentially able to just end the game very, very quickly if it sticks. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It could be worth the risk.
Yeah, keep the pressure on.
Like, what's the problem with that?
I think Frog is just kind of better.
So Frog connects. Jeremiah chooses not to pitch any cards, so it looks like I took 4.
Or, yeah, probably correct not to pitch any cards here. You're happy just getting your card draw.
Yeah.
And just say, all right, swing with your Myco spawn, all
Here comes Leyline Binding. Which is, it's tough because it's like you're almost certainly supposed to kill the frog here, but I mean, if you do, you're still facing down 6 power of DRCs. Can't look
That's
great.
right.
That is not only not in the graveyard, it is under the Leyline Binding.
How will we ever adapt to a deck better than Car?
Yeah.
Silly little boy.
Oh, Frog's exiled.
Yep. Catch that. Probably should just go to combat here no matter what, right?
Let's get there somehow.
Just get your damage in. No
Yeah.
hasters in this deck.
Yeah, that'll put me to 4, presumably.
Jeremiah agrees. We turn him sideways. We get another Leyline Binding in, ready to go. Now, I was about to ask, like, what's the reasoning for 1 on your turn and 1 on their turn?
I was just thinking that, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Like, I can see why you do it on your turn to, like, play around untap mana, right? But maybe you
Right.
just, like, didn't think the DRC was, like, that much of a problem on your turn. You pass it back, and then you come back. It's like, oh no, that's 6 damage. That is a
Yeah.
little bit of a problem.
Yeah. Come to the realization.
I mean, when you play the Vintage Cube, you don't get to keep them anyway. In Pink or on FTG.
So Jeremiah has the days that Leyline Binding is countered.
Yep.
What?
Are they going to do a vintage cube that they get to keep the
That's
cards?
how
We're
you
cracking a fetch. We're trying to do something else.
they're running right now. If you
Things are looking pretty bleak for me here.
to Vegas,
I think so, too.
cube where you get to keep the cards.
I think at this point, though,
Prize pool.
the big thing you want to play around is Terminus.
Yeah.
It clearly wasn't in the cards last turn because you would have tried to go for a tournament in a 1-card solution instead of these couple of Leyline Bindings as like multiple card solutions. But this is also one of the only things that can kill you here. Yeah, that's
There's the price of progress.
progress.
Wow.
That's 2 damage for every non-basic land. So we're just doming them.
7 minutes.
Nothing to do.
Got me.
Senses weakness when the days resolves there.
We are. Holy crap. Well, I'll be on the side.
Alright, we're shuffled up, headed to game 3 here.
I don't want to go to 6, Nick.
I will say nothing.
You have 6 minutes on the clock. You can go to 6.
Again, this is our Legacy Monthly at Arena Comics. Huge thanks to everybody that came out. Had a really good time.
Shake hands.
Hunter.
Take the draw. Is it the person with the lowest life at the end of it that ends up losing? Yeah, just hang it right.
19.
All right, we kick off with Trot Ponder,
Oh, so mad at it.
Fetch Volcanic.
Guy because I
We'll see how far we get into this before we go to turns.
How dare you imply that I'm going to go to turns?
spent so much resources to deal with it. I never actually killed it.
We'll buy you that 002 draw bracket T-shirt, and you can start wearing on streams, and then it won't be an implication anymore.
Yeah.
That looks like I don't know what it is.
That's a carpet of flowers.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
Directly in the glare.
You're not quitting the match until you see an actual definitive win.
Go to second main phase to add a white because of that one island, and we are sorting that DRC.
Yeah, playing around days. Get rid of the
Always
dip.
good to sort a DRC. Yep.
Yeah.
Then my interactions had dealt with everything else on their plate.
Hunter good.
All right. Jeremiah pondering now. No surveil trigger. This looks pretty good for the control player here. Delver lost their initial advantage, they've lost their initial threat. Can't really waste you out anymore and just spent their mana cantripping while they're going to let you play more lands.
Yeah, I definitely like seeing carpet of flowers early in this matchup.
19.
Trying to play fast, I'm probably making all kinds of mistakes.
No, you're good.
Oh, it's gonna get bad here.
Time.
Do it eventually, but they probably won't do it in August.
10 days.
It's only been out for like
11
Delver's
days.
good.
It was like really obvious.
Okay, but we do get the second threat out there. We do get a Delver.
Right? They have like one.
Yeah,
So
nice
there's a little bit of
follow-up.
hope on the horizon.
Yeah.
And they don't like consider.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah is looking to just keep sticking creatures here, keep the pressure on the life total.
Like Oklahoma Vampires or SCGs or even big MTGs.
Like I'm sitting there
Just
with
willing to
like,
look for that
dark
life
combo.
out from
Okay, I know it's still a deck, but still like
Leave it on top.
win.
Is it my turn?
Like grief. I'm like, yeah.
Well, the problem with Grief
Don't have a lot of colors of mana here. You just surveilled something in the graveyard. It's always good to take the opportunity to surveil when you can, but I mean, you have carpet for mana fixing on your own turn, presumably. Deploying a Beanstalk here. Even one more fetch should get you the white mana which you need, which is
and so it
really what you want on the opponent's turn a lot of the time.
It's basically one mana.
shifts the wheel of like this.
Beanstalk drawing that card.
Like even the
It do be like that. Get another land in there.
Yep, I'm really happy to have these two enchantments this early in the game.
Peak legacy.
Yeah, you don't have so many cards in your hand, and I think I just saw a land as one of them. So you're a little short on action here, but you're not
That's
going to
true.
get disrupted anytime soon, and you have the promise of Beanstalk paying you off like tenfold in the future.
Yeah.
specifically, it's just like you can't deal with the first grave.
Jeremiah getting the full legacy experience here, brainstorming in response to the Delver trigger. You love to see it.
So he goes top deck war, and like at least in modern, like those top deck wars
Yep.
can be really stupid and frustrating. And in legacy, they're maybe a little.
Because I
less
use carpet
frustrating.
mana. Sorry.
They're still pretty
I
bad.
was fixing my sleeve. Yes, flips.
I thought it was like I didn't really see what changed about this.
Okay, let that one go.
Reanimating grief play patterns were like.
I mean, putting a bolt on top for the Delver trigger is just like the most aggressive thing you can be doing here. It's like, hey, you know, Delver's flipping.
The
bolt's
pain is coming. That's right.
Yeah.
Here's 6 damage. Deal with it.
Like literally, the thing is, the only where it shifted was surveil land. Like you added one
Trigger
surveil land
in
to this
response
deck,
to
and
the
then it
trigger, I'm
became a
gonna
thing.
fetch.
I was like, is that really the?
There's a Terminus.
Or did people just kind of figure out?
I suppose you can respond to the miracle trigger by fetching. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the fact that you could surveil a trackside to the grave.
I would go
That's
against
nice and convenient.
Reanimator and have these play patterns.
You sure can't fetch before that. You'll shuffle the card you draw.
That's right.
That's what it felt like.
But like for other people, it's like I guess they have like reanimator.
So casting a Terminus to get rid of this pesky Delver.
I mean, even one Terminus isn't the first Terminus, though. We've got Mystic Sanctuary in the deck. Well, not if it gets negated.
Yeah, Force Negation, a nice clean answer here.
That happens. It's counter.
And we let it go.
Trigger.
It's now this beats that.
Remembered my draw trigger this time.
Mhm.
That's what happened. And then
Two blue.
Yep, carpet's going.
and now it's 40%.
42 seconds, by the way.
See, Brainstorm in hand. That's probably getting played. Yep. Trying to find something better.
Best deck. The deck that was already, a third of the meta got a bit.
I also like the red black version with Nathan's looting.
Yeah, no, that
Like,
deck.
it's
That's traditional reanimator.
Yeah,
Right? That's what I was
And
talking
we'll
about.
go back to that once because man, that deck is perfectly fine. And I don't have a problem with it.
Uro's pretty good here.
Yeah, I like Uro
Get
here.
that life, gain a land in there. Oh, but we are countering that? That's fine. We can counter on the way down. It'll come back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that might have been some of Jeremiah's inexperience with Legacy. Maybe hold that for the recast, not the way down. But case could be made either way.
That is time in the
I
round.
think that
Active player,
in-
you are turn 0.
Even a slightly different board position, that would be more correct, right? Like, say you're at 7 life, and, like, Jeremiah has this bolt in hand, right? And, like, is threatening maybe another bolt, right? Countering it on the way down represents, like, an immediate potential lethal threat.
Yeah.
But I think the life totals are a bit too high for that to be as much of a consideration.
Yeah.
Delver's getting in, though.
But they also just didn't. They didn't.
Oh, and we also have the hate cards. I mean,
okay,
we
now-
counter it on the way down, and then we get it with the hate
Yeah.
card.
Now it makes more sense.
It was not seen as
Even so, yeah, but I mean, you're tapping yourself out of it if you're going to play the hate card, so it makes sense. This unlicensed Hearst, it's threatening to exile up to 2 cards from a single graveyard, and it gets as big when you crew it as those cards. But it's getting countered here, so it doesn't really work out for Jeremiah. But the plan makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I usually don't counter on the way down.
Just didn't get
I hadn't thought of that as a sideboard card for the Delver player, but it makes a lot of sense. You do utilize your graveyard with Mystic Sanctuaries and Urrows, so
Yeah, I
that's
like
enough
that.
reason to bring it in. It's also like a little hard to kill as a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was playing beans, and like that very bad.
We surveil a daze into the yard here. Yeah, pretty unlikely for that to work when Carpet's making you 3 mana a turn, so I don't blame him there.
Yeah, you get a point.
Triumph of St. Catherine
Cast it and have it draw.
coming off from the top of the deck here. I think that was set up with a Brainstorm.
Yeah, looks like we're in turns here. This is turn 1, so I'm definitely happy to get a body on the board.
I think they're fine.
I'll make 3 green. I'll play a
I
land.
think the bean decks have always been fine. I still think, to this day, I think they were overhyped when they initially came out. I think that's kind of proven to be the case.
What was overhyped?
I'll escape Uro.
Oh.
And we're going to get Uro back.
They were good. They're playable.
So, I mean, this represents a real comeback potential for the control deck here. You have 2
I think that like a lot of
What's that?
positively beefy bodies on the board. Lots of life being represented here.
play what they have, right? And so like,
Yeah.
if I go to the Netrunner World Championships,
And Jeremiah with not too many cards to stop it, and not really too many ways to stop a Triumph of St. Catherine once it's resolved here.
especially
Like,
Yeah,
there's
these
a bolt
bigger
up.
creatures definitely hard for Delver to deal with.
lots of people like
We know there's 1 bolt in hand, but it's going to take 2 to take down this Triumph, and it's a real backbreaker if one of them gets countered. To say nothing of the Uro, we're already 2 Pyroblasts down, so
Yeah.
it's going to be. Are we 2? Maybe we're just 1 Pyroblast down. Maybe I remember the last game. Well, if we're only 1 Pyroblast down, then maybe we can find more for the Uro. But yeah, that is one of your big answers to one.
I crushed it. Main deck Blood Moon, really good against up the Beanstalk.
Jeremiah is turn 2, so let's see what he can come up with here.
I haven't seen him in a bit.
Oh, there's another Reb, so it's a
Yeah.
it's a Pyroblast. Yeah, yeah.
Good answer for Uro.
No shortage of those.
The other thing that I have that I want to try is yeah, I do want to try that at some point. Is it
Fetch and response.
from your set blast to the main? Yeah, you don't care. You know, like I do want to try that out and see how that deck feels. But
Painter's up there.
I do like the way Eldrazi feels.
Brainstorm.
Obviously, Wasteland decks are hard to play against, and I imagine Prison would suck.
Brainstorm in response to Pyroblast.
Yeah. Gonna pretty much have to be a force here.
Once you get the microspawn accuracy, it'll ramp out the card you need.
Yep, and there it is.
Draw trigger.
You go down to no cards in hand, but have a draw trigger on the stack,
Like the high move getters on the middle.
and you get to keep your Uro.
Spawn is crazy.
Card's good. You wouldn't think like a 4/6 mana card would be good in Legacy.
4 mana slash.
Delver player with 2 cards left in hand.
That double Wasteland.
Yeah, it turns out when Wasteland's a card that you can buy.
You can win a match that goes to turns here if you attack it twice unimpeded.
You just run 4 main Disruptor Flutes.
With only 1 card in hand, you're gonna have to draw some gas, like runner removal spell or leyline binding, draw card, removal spell.
Yeah.
Very life from the low.
It's like I'm gonna exile this one. I'm gonna exile.
Uro picks up a card too, so that's gonna help. Plenty of mana from Carpet.
If only it was legendary, so they could crack us back to my. Yeah, I'd play main War Crackers right now. That'd be sick.
Ponder gonna help out.
Draw for Ponder.
The other part's just figuring out
Carpet makes red mana, notably.
a lot of lists. It's like
Any consideration to like second main phase in the Carpet? Well, I guess you're trying to remove these guys before attackers. Oh yeah, 4th Aerolingus.
Yeah, I
That'll
was
help.
hoping to see that.
Yeah.
Hence the first main carpet.
Few games.
Yeah, that's enough to pack it in here.
Super close.
Wasn't a draw after all, even though you were in turns.
Yeah, great game. Like I said, very stoked to have Jeremiah with us. He played great, piloting the Grixis Delver deck.
Yeah, good
Yep,
games,
well
man.
done
That
on
was
both
super
sides
close.
here. Absolutely a fantastic watch here.
Yeah, good match.
And then I
Let's
barely
go
beat
on to
him.
the next.
Let's get number
No.
2 queued up here.
If you didn't buy one of those shirts that has Jason, that's gonna be a Christmas present at some point. If we do get jerseys, we probably do need to have.
That's true. There you go.
All right, so for round 2, we're going to have me again on the left, 4-color Beanstalk. And on the right, we've got Nick with his Esper Legends, aka Esper Ring Bearer deck. Very cool deck.
You want to tab over the part of the video where we get Nick in here? I think this is still Jeremiah.
Table 3 is Tim and Austin.
You're right. There we go.
You just roll 5 dice to see who goes first.
Yeah, we're playing poker.
Oh, you're playing poker.
It's almost like you don't get a mulligan.
Technically, if
Man, anytime someone asks me to do something like that, I'm just like, nah.
We're playing Yahtzee. Get out of here.
There's too many rules.
Yeah.
Something's fishy.
Metal dice can be like 30.
So we've seen Nick's Esper Legends deck a couple of times out here.
Nah,
Really,
we're kicking them down.
I don't think there's that many
kicking
legends in
down.
it aside from like the interactions that you get between Samwise, the Stout-Hearted, and Caracas. But I mean, Samwise, the Stout-Hearted, Caracas is quite an interesting interaction regardless. So
But Cody's being nice and not playing greedy.
you want to be playing things like Orcish Bowmasters. You want to be
Ask the other opponent
playing,
if they would like to
Wasteland package. You want to play a lot of the good sort of like tempo control, removal, and counterspell cards. And yeah, I mean, like,
He just said no.
and then the judge came over and said you can't.
you just want to have a more unassailable board state, especially against these kind of control decks. I think it might be like
Basically made that offer, and he didn't really even.
a bit of a nervous matchup for you, considering.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough matchup for me. Just because, like you said, the evasiveness, once Nick gets the loop going of looping Samwise with Caracas and making other, creatures legendary, it gets harder and harder to deal with.
But just does it only on that one time.
Alright, so he's not actually a creature on field.
He is not.
Kinda
Yes,
dumb.
he is on the field.
That's dumb.
Good game.
I'm like, I'm just
GG.
sitting there. I was like, that's kind of broken.
GG, bro.
You can start looping Wastelands, looping Fetchlands as well.
It is a creature.
I don't recognize
Because Samwise gets you any permanent that left the battlefield this turn. Oh, and Thoughtseize.
I have an expiration.
That's a direct backbreaker against control as well.
Yeah, strong start for Nick here.
Beanstalk, double force, and some lands. I don't see the last card.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Beanstalk is kind of the clear take here, if that's all I'm seeing. I think that's another land. Yeah. Beanstalk is the grease that makes the wheels spin in this deck.
That's right.
That's a Caracas.
Surveil at your end step.
Yep.
It's the Lord of the Rings Caracas.
Caracas, by the way.
And so Caracas, I mean, we've mentioned the card name a couple times. This is a legendary land that taps for white and can tap to return a legendary creature to its owner's hand.
I'll
You'd
link it
force
in
the
the chat.
Thoughtseize? Forcing the Thoughtseize sounds like a really good way to lose 2 cards instead of 1 and only have Beanstalk in your hand. I think that's a bit of a dicey position.
Yeah, I agree.
Place to put my sideboard where it's just not in the way.
I'll play another game and say go.
Is my turn?
Yep.
Alright. Sorry. This is gonna be a thing.
I know, right? Lefties.
And there's another Beanstalk. Gets forced pitching force. Beanstalk, really high priority target. Forced pitching force to protect the Beanstalk.
ETB.
Those forces didn't draw cards, and all is right with the world. Beanstalk picks you back up that card, and Mystic Sanctuary is the only known card left in hand.
Yep, really happy to stick a Beanstalk here.
Brainstorm.
That is Brainstorm.
Hey, UB Dentist, welcome. Happy to have you.
Yep.
We're gonna get you on stream next month. You better be here.
X equals 1.
That should be prismatic ending. I think that's the special guest prismatic ending.
Good.
Yeah, that'll get rid of the beanstalk. Sure did replace itself though. That's why the card's good. It'd still be pretty good if it didn't, but like, it's always giving itself back.
Yeah, good follow up for Nick there, getting rid of that beanstalk.
Yeah.
Mystic Sanctuary goes and puts Lorien Revealed on top?
I
Or is
think
it a
it,
force?
I think it was a force.
Yeah, it was force pitching force. Going no.
Looks like Nick's might be missing land drops here.
It was Lorien
It
Revealed.
was Lauren, you're right. Yeah, because that's right. The other force was exiled.
Yeah. Just go get another land. Just keep making your land drops while Nick doesn't.
Yeah.
Xander's Lounge, play it.
Yep.
Shuffle and pass.
That turns on the full boat domain. Ready to slam those bindings if need be.
Ouch. Nick misses another land drop.
God, it's a frustrating game. Here we go.
Go. We did it.
There's a land.
Good.
I mean, even if you do have creatures in this position, they're all like flash creatures that, have tricksy little effects. So, I mean, you would have wanted to play a Orcish Bowmasters here to capitalize off of the Brainstorm, but you wouldn't really want to just run it out if you weren't gaining advantage off of it. Same with something like the Samwise.
Yeah.
There's ways if you get yourself established to gain a lot of advantage against the control deck by using Samwise over and over again, but you do have to get to that position first. Beanstalk is threatening to come down again after that Brainstorm.
Yeah, this is the third beanstalk. Pretty lucky to see that many this early in the game. Well, I guess
Yeah.
run turn 5 or 6, but still.
Yeah, you can't be more than like 15 or 16 cards into the
Right.
deck, cantrips considering even.
Sure.
Here's a Sauron's Ransom in response to Up the Beanstalk.
Oh baby, fact or fiction time.
Okay.
Now, Sauron's Ransom resolves, it gets a face-up pile and a face-down pile, and the caster of Sauron's Ransom chooses which one to take. So, what are you thinking as you're putting cards into the piles here? Do you want to try and hide some goodies, or do you want to trick them?
Yeah, I think I put a face-up Wasteland, and I believe another Thoughtseize.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and I can't recall. The face-down pile was definitely the juicier targets.
That was at least Ponder,
Yeah, I
and
can't.
maybe also something else.
Yeah, I think it was a creature if I recall.
Well, of course it was something else. You know what I mean? I can't. That
A mystery
may or
card.
may not have existed.
Schrodinger's card.
Ponder good.
See, you could take the Wasteland, but you could take the face down pile. They could have anything, even a Wasteland. Yep, Ponder goes. The third Beanstalk tries to get
Goodness.
exiled here with another pending.
These beanstalks are just not meant to be.
Prismatic Ending is a really, really versatile removal spell, though.
Yeah, I do love that card.
Get rid of that wasteland. I guess we're still gonna.
It's my turn.
Yep.
On one?
Yeah. Good.
Go ahead. Your turn to sack the draw. Sure.
So just draw a pass for me.
Yep. Which, is fine because you're not under threat, but it's also just sort of like, what are you going to do about it, Nick? I've drawn and passed. What he's
Yeah.
gonna do is play a Psychic Frog. Oh yeah, we're playing Blue and Black, so we're probably playing Frog. That's
Might
not
as
something
well.
I considered when I was thinking about it. I was just remember the last time we played this deck.
Yeah, I think Frog's a nice addition, obviously.
Exactly the kind of thing you're hoping to protect with Samwise, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sam.
now we are playing a Samwise. We're gonna get that fetch land back and
Speak of the devil, there's Samwise.
Ring Bear the Frog if it matters. I mean, it will in future turns if the Caracas. Oh no, we're ring banging Samwise. I don't think who the ring bearer is matters so much in the end. Well, I guess. Oh no, because you get the looting ability, the legendary ability, like matters for protecting it. But
And then also swords targeting frog.
oh yeah, we're swords in both of these things, so I guess it doesn't matter all that much.
Double swords. Nick has a force of will.
Counter.
Protects the frog, yeah.
But yeah, I mean like. The frog's gonna draw when it attacks, and if Samwise was the ring bearer, then it would loot when it attacks. So they're both threatening to provide turn over turn advantage here. And then endurance here too.
Yeah, I like clearing the board. Reduce the targets for Samwise.
Did you let him get the land back with the Samwise? Or you
Yeah, I
already
think I
endurance
did.
for the land?
Yeah.
That's a lot of cards that goes away here.
Yeah.
Does the ring tempt me?
Oh, I don't know. Is there a period?
Yeah.
You do as much as you can, right? So I don't think you do. I don't know. Whatever you want to call is fine with me. You want to check with Ben? For sure.
So we had a discussion here with the Samwise trigger.
This one has the tag?
It was
Right,
a
you asked me
question.
about this on the
Yeah.
day, where
Right.
if I blank the target of the ability, then the ring doesn't tempt.
So Samwise.
It's just like with Yawgmoth, right? Like Yawgmoth's ability has multiple sentences where it's just like you put a minus
Right.
one on a creature and then you draw a card, but if you blank the target of that, then you'll stop the card draw as well. But Yawgmoth lets you decide not to target anything, so you can play around that because Yawgmoth's such a great card.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So let me
Yeah. Pull it out.
Make Yawgmoth great again.
And then we're waiting for Monday. Did
Yes.
not do news.
Nah, dude.
go ahead.
Ban and restricted announcement. Is it Monday, you said, Ben?
Yep, it's a Monday.
We're all waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, crop rot, swords, everything.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, imagine if Grief doesn't go again in Legacy. Like, how mad people are gonna be.
Yeah.
Everything couldn't crop right after the chalice.
I honestly don't feel strongly either way.
I don't really either, but it's just something everyone's been talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like election cycles, right? It's like these, it's
Right.
like you're gonna go through a whole another cycle of everyone talking about something after.
That's right.
My targets are.
You gotta have your 24/7 Magic news.
Yes, the 24/7 news cycle. Here's a Kaya, Leyline Binding in response to the Kaya activation.
Oh, I guess they'll just stay.
What does this Kaya do again?
It exiles cards from the graveyard, and then eventually, I think you can zap your opponent based on the number of cards exiled. And I don't believe it has a static ability.
Do you know what the specific name of this Kaya?
I can't recall.
Only game plan. I'll be on the play.
Yeah.
Go.
Like honestly, I just don't see sphere of resistance.
Kaya.
Just do as much as you can mana rate.
Is it Intangible Slayer?
No, it's not that one. I'll know it if I hear it.
Ghost Form?
No. I think it's a 3 or maybe 4 mana planeswalker.
We got a reader.
Wasteland.
Nick's pondering. Here's a wasteland. Get rid of the Triome. Kai, is it Ghost Assassin? Maybe I was wrong. You be Dentist
No.
in the chat.
No, Orzhov Usurper. One white black, +1, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if at least one creature was exiled this way. -5, it deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards that player owns in exile, and you gain that much life. And -1, exile target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less. That
There we
seems to
go.
be the card that was used here.
Yeah. Alright, I'm able to stick a Beanstalk here.
Wow, the last Beanstalk.
Here's a Frog.
And we have enough mana to Samwise Protected as well.
Yeah.
But you seem to have a few cards in your hand, so...
Combat. Gain 1.
Swords takes care of the Frog.
Tap Caracas. Caracas.
Yeah.
Murktide.
There's a Murktide.
Yep, Murktide's a pretty big one. And yep, that's even after the Endurance, too. We've had plenty of games since then. Plenty of cards going in the graveyard. Force, Hardcast. No cards drawn from the... Oh, wait, there's a Beanstalk. Yep, there's a Beanstalk out there. Yep.
But it is a haha funny. Let me roll a dice card.
Ponder?
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Ponder.
See if we can find a way to close the game here.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at. You've certainly left the game long enough. You certainly have stalled out a lot of the threats that Nick could be putting out here and kept his cards in hand down significantly. You definitely look like you're ready to finish things. It's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a window there of Nick missing land drops, so let's see if we can capitalize.
Yep.
I mean, I can never get out of that. I should have just. I was gonna mulligan to try to get for the ley line, but I thought the hand was fine. But I can't get out of ley line for wasteland over and over and over again. That's the shitty part of that deck is you can just do that.
that's not a thing you can get with Mystery Force.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. Because that just.
Tried.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable keeping hand. I can't just mulligan for trying to find that most of the time.
I'm gonna leave up 1 mana.
That's why I felt bad. Because like I had the Sage you and I was like, iffy ley line.
And there's the fourth Aerlingus, gets the scoop.
Yep.
Was the issue I was trying to.
Fourth Ailing is such a great card, especially with Mystic Sanctuary. Just get it back. It's so backbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, that card was a huge upgrade for these 4-color shells.
Very lucky draws for sure. I tweaked the deck to take out some of the
Well, that was
creatures
definitely a
that
close
forced
game. I think Nick obviously missing land drops just gave me an opportunity to draw enough answers to keep the board clear and then close it out at the end, but good game.
Yep.
I can't get out from under one and wasteland over.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
How do we feel about sideboarding here? What are you looking to bring in against Nick?
I don't have much, honestly. Like I said, in round 1, I've got plenty of white removal, which is definitely relevant in this matchup. Carpet of Flowers is less good.
For counterbalance, you must
Honestly, can't. Looks like I'm bringing in 1 card. I have to look at my list here. I can't remember what I brought in.
Yeah, as dicey as it could probably be if like things go wrong for you, it seemed like your deck is also like not too poorly lined up against the things that exist. Like you have answers. It's
Right.
just a matter of drawing them in enough frequency and at the right time so that they don't get ground out by Nick's card advantage engine.
And be uncastable, and I can just do
Yeah.
things that matter. Yeah, that would be better.
So I'm bringing in 2 cards. Potentially a Pyroblast. Potentially, I have a 4th Aerlingus in the sideboard, so could potentially bring in a 2nd, 4th.
Take the play.
Okay.
We do have 2 Veil of Summer sideboard, so that might be decent with the Thought Seizes and the potential Bowmasters.
it's fine.
Hey, UB Dentist. Yeah, this is what I'll be playing at Eternal Weekend. I think I've got the list dialed in where I like it.
I mean, I was just gonna play a second roll of spell.
You got to book your travel and go with us.
Have they released the schedule yet?
No, apparently they came out and said it was supposed to be yesterday. Then they came out and said they were still finalizing some stuff and they would announce a date when tickets would go live. Is the last I heard.
Okay.
Playing Galvanic Relay Storm Settings.
I'll go to 6.
Next turn I can play these cards. Not this
Game 2 looks like Nickel keeps 7. I'm going to 6.
Show me the brainstorm you have on top. I'm surprised that Delta flipped. Oh, yeah. Tries to hook it on top. Go. No, it's flip the Delta.
Yep.
I know what this is. It's burn. Always had it.
The ring is kind of a really interesting thing to introduce into the game here because it's impossible to interact with as an emblem, but it also doesn't like do all that much in this matchup or in Legacy in general, right? At least in comparison to the initiative, which is impossible to interact with and does a whole lot for you if left
Mhm.
unchecked.
He's going to attack you, and then you're just say in response you lose.
7.
Let's dance.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Looks like a scrub land pass from Nick.
Yes.
Yep. Can barely see that checkered text box there. We get a comp ponder over here on the control side.
That fetched my basic. That scared me. I was about to play a Stalling card. I was like, wait, no, Price of Progress is a card. I didn't know that was a card until right now, but I'm glad I know that's a card now, because that's rough.
That's Caracas, or is it
Yeah,
Wasteland?
yeah, I think it's Caracas.
Yep.
So Nick finds an early Caracas both games. Here's a Beanstalk.
Yeah, there's your early Beanstalk. Not Thoughtseize this time. It is going to be forced. Consign a memory.
Interesting.
And Samwise.
Good start from Nick.
Gets the ring out there. Yeah, there's a lot on top with it, too. That Samwise is coming back whenever he wants it to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the Caracas Samwise loop is established here. That's going to get tough for me to interact with. Here's a Thoughtseize.
What's consigned to memory here dealing with against your deck? Miracle triggers? Draw triggers from Beanstalks?
Yeah, leyline binding triggers.
I might as well just go to first board.
So we see Fourth Earlingus, Leyline Binding. We're taking the Binding here.
Here you go.
Oh, and the Beanstalk as well. I'm not sure why the Binding is being taken over Beanstalk. Oh no, that Beanstalk wasn't in the hand, it was just in play. That would be why.
No, I think it was in the hand, and I just cast it this turn. I was just playing with my hand open.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you bend it?
I don't know.
Yeah, so Nick choosing to take the binding over the Beanstalk.
Is that what it was?
Has something to protect. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you can bounce your Samwise if he ever tries to go for it, so.
Right.
I run one,
Trying to warp this card back into shape.
so I just like I have to have something.
Past Sam.
Oh, we're playing another Samwise.
Back up Sam.
I had a deep sideboard the last time that I was playing.
Legend rule.
We're keeping the second Sam and targeting the first Sam. You can do that.
I hate blue.
Yeah, here's the loop.
Of course.
Because that state-based action is sacrifice to the legend rules. Check before that enter the battlefield ability even goes on the stack.
Sure.
Here's swords to get rid of the Sam on the board. Trigger still resolves.
Yep.
I had such a miserable time when I was trying to play Delver.
It's no, I meant yeah, but you can effectively run off of shocks. That plays. Or you could run 3. You could run.
This deck's not frog.
Psychic Frog comes into play. Not legendary yet. Legendary in our hearts, though.
The IOUs and stuff aren't that
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, they are.
Sanders Lounge and Forest.
It's interesting to see Nick playing this more aggressive game, right? You'd kind of hope to be able to play the more patient game where you could like get to 5 mana and like play the frog with Sam Caracas backup, right? Or like, but here we're running the frog out there. We're saying do something about this. I took your ley line binding. You've got a fourth in hand. You've got to find the answer.
Yeah, Nick definitely playing the aggressor here. Frog's a nice way to refill his hand as well. So I'm digging for removal here with the brainstorm. That frog can get out of hand very quickly. Especially if Nick turns it into a looter scooter.
Oh yeah. Looting and drawing? That's illegal.
I gotta loot your hand, bro.
All right, we're brainstorming.
Right, there's two.
What you doing? Don't be cheating.
Yeah, land. Go ahead.
Found a land. It's a fetch. We're passing it back.
Combat.
We've let him untap with the Sam in hand.
Yep.
So that's just one more piece of interaction to go on to whatever fight happens. We're drawing that card. Yep, we're letting Nick get some of that card advantage. You've got 3 cards in your hand. Another frog is about to hit the board.
Oof. I hate to see that.
Jesus.
There's the Terminus.
That's a nice draw.
I was going to say this frog feels like it might be a bit of an overextension, but
Terminus resolves. Draw for Beanstalk. Draw for turn. Or I drew the Terminus for turn, sorry.
Basically just red cantrip in that scenario.
Leave it on top. Go ahead.
all right.
You don't need to do anything else.
Go.
There's a wasteland.
You have nobles, my friend.
Bit late for Wasteland to be a particularly impactful draw here, but as I mentioned earlier, the Sam can loop it.
Yeah.
You do have a couple of basics so that you're not entirely squeezed out, but you can start attacking your white man at the very least.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Draw 4 Lorien revealed is a pretty good play here.
I'm gonna play. I can play mono black Belcher. Black Belcher is funny.
Wasteland Tundra.
We will waste the white source after the fact.
Cast Sam.
Go Sam it back.
Trigger target. Wasteland.
Where I can win on your turn 0.
There's that loop you mentioned. Recurring Wasteland with Sam.
That's the deck too. It's so stupid funny.
Combat.
You just go like ball
2.
straight
I'll loot.
spy.
Hey, good night, UB Dentist. Thanks again for hanging out. This this replay will go up on YouTube. I'll post the link in Discord.
Wasteland comes into play again. Not being committal with the Wasteland just at the moment.
That is like a relatively okay deck. It's really rough against any. Yeah.
I like the deck. 4. I was thinking. I didn't know if you like that deck. If that like is your preferred deck, but I just like saying other things that I've seen that are.
Another Beanstalk hits the battlefield. Draws that card.
The decks that I.
Go ahead.
Fun stuff.
Wasteland.
So you're losing lands. It's not a great feeling, but you have 2 Beanstalks in play. I still like your chances in this matchup. Your life total is high. It's going to take a bit for you to go down.
I'm gonna tap for blue.
You've had this 4th yearling for forever, but it's going to be hard to get both red and white mana at the same time now that
Right.
this Wasteland lock is happening. And that Samwise is going to start doing 5 damage per attack soon enough.
Right. And I really need double removal at this point to get rid of him because of the Caracas protection.
Right, but assuming that he tries to bounce it this turn to get it back, like, that's also an extension that would leave him vulnerable to a single piece of removal.
Here's a leyline binding.
Well, you've
Our spawn.
kind of just let him do the bounce already. Yep, there's double removal.
Go to 1.
I was playing Cascade for a long time.
Oof, another one.
Yeah.
The loot. Yeah, that happened.
I seem to recall this is a spot where I might have missed my 2 Beanstalk triggers, which is a huge punt.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of point where you want that. And then we're getting back together. Sam.
Happens, right?
Yep.
And then 2 draw triggers. Because I haven't drawn from those yet.
Yeah, it's turn 1.
Yeah, I'll take that.
What was the next one?
But the leyline resolved.
I would have untapped, and then
Oh.
I could have.
I think we talked through it, and for some reason I convinced myself I had missed it or drawn or something. Either way, it was a misplay, I'm pretty sure.
For some reason I was thinking I didn't draw. Was the wasteland in response?
So we see a Samwise in play. Brings it level 4.
That's
response
right.
to the trigger.
We've burned our couple of removal spells on it. We didn't draw the cards. It does look pretty grim for
No.
the control player over here.
Yeah, Nick's got a nice loop going here.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I go.
Make it work.
Yep.
Two.
It's only there
Take
for
3.
cantrips. I run no
Loot
counter
trigger
magic.
actually before.
So I go to 10.
So,
and then,
so there's a loot trigger on attack.
okay.
And I need Sakashima
So
to
I'm
get
at
rid of
12.
legendary rule.
Discard ponder.
Attack and loot. Don't need this ponder anymore. And then takes another 3. Get a fetch land out there. Get a frog out there. Have another Sam in hand. And the ability to Caracas something back.
Deck, as you'd imagine, gets picked apart by
Yeah, looking pretty bleak for me at this point.
small.
Even with the extra 2 Beanstalk cards,
Yeah,
you would have needed some help.
that's right.
There's
Beanstalk
another
number
Beanstalk.
3.
Just cycle that bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I can just deck myself, go out on my own terms.
Combat.
Moving to combat. Because that triggers on attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving to combat, I will cast Swords targeting Sam.
I'll bounce Sam in response.
I'll cast Brainstorm in response.
Swords targeting Sam, Caracas targeting Sam, Brainstorm in response, and that all happens.
Yeah.
Guess I'll fetch.
Not winning that fight. So here, I mean, I guess you can just... Well, the frog isn't the ring bearer. There's no
Not
real way
yet.
to try and kill you this turn without putting the frog at risk. I mean, yeah, we're just gonna... The Sam's just gonna come back down, try and get this fetch land.
No effects.
This will be my ring bearer.
Okay.
Combat.
Combat.
1 loot trigger.
Yeah.
Take 2. 1 mana.
Discard the flooded strand.
Frog coming in.
Combat.
No
Or
blocks.
damage.
If he has 3 cards in his hand, he can go for the win, but it's kind of not necessary.
Yeah.
So when I cast this,
Take 1.
trigger spawn will come
Take
in.
1.
Yeah. And then
then
draw
3 more.
trigger and damage trigger. So I'll draw, and then you take
This, when
Take
this is
3.
cast, it makes another Eldrazi spawn on its own.
Here you go.
So when that comes in,
Caracas is tapped at least.
and then
Yeah.
A well-placed Terminus could save the day here. Yeah, there it is. We did brainstorm that to the top.
3 draw
Something that
triggers.
Nick might have even been expecting, considering the brainstorm. There's a force.
Where's it in?
2.
I will
Brainstorming to try and find another force.
He does things with Kirk, giving me more coins. You don't like Kirk.
I do.
So, go ahead.
I mean, I just took the thing that I thought would do something fastest. Who knows?
That would be Dualcaster Mage randomly sneaking in an infinite combo.
Draw triggers.
Yep.
Draw 3.
Another flush trigger.
Yeah.
Make another one of these. 2 damage to you. And attack.
6.
Terminus resolve. We have 3 cards to help bring it back. There's an Uro.
Land for turn, cast Uro.
There's an Uro.
Triggers.
Yep.
Draw.
Not draw one of these.
This is how the deck just
Notably, not enough life to protect you here. You need more
Yeah.
removal.
making a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, I think we needed Uro plus removal there.
We had Delirium yet?
I don't own a cradle, so I don't know that I would actually.
Yeah.
Most versions don't even run the cradle. Some do just to try to see how it works. It's kind of like a fun land to cast something bigger, but you don't really need it.
I wanted to play a deck
Combat.
where I could
Yeah.
see what your deck did. You know,
Just getting in there.
On turn, on game 2, a little bit more. It's just toss your into dudes and attack you, just disrupt you, microspine you, kill your lands. That's basically all it's trying to do.
I'm not proud of how my deck went sometimes.
No blocks.
It's one of the aspects. And like I kept the hand knowing that could happen.
We're pitching a card to Frog.
We're doing the thing.
We don't need swords here.
I guess I didn't need the disc.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Great game.
We're going to game 3 then.
I gotta slow down and get
Yep, on to game 3.
because if those resolve, I stabilize.
Right. I just wanted to. I'm like, I didn't even have.
I'll go to 6.
Game 3, 4-color Beanstalk versus Nick's Esper Ringbearer deck.
Because, like, no. Yeah. I mean, like, I was trying to go for a Galvanic Relay, and you actually forced the exact correct card. Forcing the Dark Ritual you made it so that I could Galvanic Relay. So it was a good play.
Trigger is going to deal 2 damage to you. And look at your hand.
No, I mean, that's it. I kept that hand,
All this talking has made me thirsty. I'm going to step away for a bit and get a drink.
Okay.
Be right back.
and I'll, like, if I find lands or I find time cantrips, then I'll have easy ways to find it. And
Nick mulligans to 6.
like burning your stuff.
See if he likes it.
Okay.
Yep. Attack for 2.
Surveil land.
Leave it on top.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Keep it on top and pass.
Tundra. Ponder.
Yeah.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome
What
back.
we really need to do is get you start bringing like
Go ahead.
Boros Initiative again.
Yes.
Just get these games over.
Speed
in
these
15
games up. I will be playing that possibly the next monthly. I bought some broadside bombardiers, so I want to test out Boros again.
Very cool. I don't think I'll be able to attend that one this time.
Boo.
I will be playing
It's like taking candy.
Pokemon.
Nice. Potentially could be a post-grief world. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good card. I've seen some sideboards of this deck run that too, which honestly would have been very good against you.
Wasting
I will.
the green-blue land. Green is Beanstalk colors. But Laura in Revealed says, "It's okay, guys. I've got another land."
That's right. We got this.
We'll probably try to run when I get bored of this.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's a similar deck, and in the head-to-head, like Cloudpost has a little bit of the edge because they're just what they're doing is bigger. Just going
Done after that?
Yeah.
Like I run a Caracas main in this just
Yeah, a lot of people, there's no reason not to in that deck. You can tutor any land you need. Sure. Some versions, this version runs Crocus and
Ponder.
Ponder coming out from the control side now. Ponder's all around. Ponder's a great card.
some versions of this deck run Mox with Diamonds too, but I don't like those versions.
Go.
Unlock stuff.
Yeah, just fan acceleration to do this one thing fast.
9 times out of 10, you're pitching one and tap for 2
Brainstorm?
in order to
No,
get 1.
no, you just pitch whatever. Or sometimes you have double AUG and that's a no-go, and so you just pitch that. Yeah. But no, you would play the man of the next turn.
Brainstorm this time. I think that's a fetch right next to the land right there. Yeah, it's a delta.
Yeah, it runs a lot. So,
I run 30.
yeah, you're all in.
Beanstalk attempting to come down. Force attempting to come down on the Beanstalk. I mean, this is clearly the high value card in the matchup here.
Yeah, for sure.
All 3 games, these Beanstalks have been very contested objects. And one good force pitching Brainstorm deserves another.
I'm about to take out my Ghost Quarter. I ran it because most decks, for the most part,
Beanstalk resolves.
and I could landlock you off your basics if I wanted to.
Of course.
Always.
Every game.
Who else would we be waiting on?
I'm sorry.
It's what I do.
Looked at this list and looked at this thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm catching some grief from the peanut gallery for headed to time again.
Great, yeah. Very fun. Good game.
Also,
Yeah.
against just a 20/20.
Very good game.
This works very good.
Draw.
I just pay 2 mana and exile it.
Is it flash?
Yeah, it's instant.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Go. And then it's like it. Where is it?
Alright, we're deploying the frog again.
Creature with mana value X. So it's just like 2.
Yeah, that is.
No possibility of Sam this time.
It's just a 4.
Yeah, this is a good time as any to Leyline Binding.
You can pay X for it, which is easy to do. You can make a bunch of the 0
Let's go.
Or you can sign to memory that trigger.
You can exile.
Yeah, there's that sideboard card. Doing some work.
Get him, baby.
I drew, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's no way that this works out where you get to consign the draw trigger and the consign to memory and the Leyline Binding enter the battlefield trigger. But imagine if you could, though.
Ooh, yeah, that would be good. Ooh, another bean.
It's pretty sick. It does cool stuff.
Oh yeah,
Trigger.
the beans are multiplying. The Leyline Binding. Number 2,
ETB target.
drawing some cards.
I like that exchange for me.
I don't know if you did. You draw those cards? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. This Wasteland's coming out though. No Caracas in play is the real big difference in this game versus the last ones. You really want to see this Caracas coming with this Samwise
Yeah.
to increase the threat levels.
Here we go.
But I mean, picking up another Wasteland all the same is going to be pretty good. It's just like, you know, this whole plan works a lot better when you're not drawing 2 cards every spell that you cast.
Right.
Go for gas in the beginning for most matches.
I do need to find some lands pronto, though.
Was it Mana Bond, Fast Bond, whatever that card's called?
Yeah, Man Bond is like
Yeah,
drop.
drop everything.
Yeah. This is like probably one of the slower games.
And those are the games I need to keep
Violence cycle.
Yep.
But I'm not sure. Look at the game.
Yeah, blurring your reveal, going and being the land.
Okay, so I will gain 4 back to 22. You draw a card first, and then I look at your hand. It's the trigger on this deck.
I grab that one. Play that as land for turn.
Okay.
Shuffle.
Yep.
Grab that basic.
No, get rid of it. Put it in the graveyard.
No strip mine here.
Safe. Strip mine can't hurt me here.
Like, well, you
Take
saw
out
I had this being
Tundra.
It's like
Top
racist.
left.
Wasting the green. Just keep a maw furrow. Ring is only at 1. Big Merc's coming into play.
That looks like a full value Merc died.
4, 5, 6, 7.
No.
Not quite. There's a force pitching Uro.
Flourishes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that Uro's not coming into play anytime soon, so
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
pitch fodder right there. So yeah, I mean, really all you need at this point is one halfway decent threat to stick, but
Mm-hmm.
without lands, it's kind of hard to get one of those into play.
Yeah.
Fourth Yearlingus, Solitude, Uro, these all require 4 or 5 mana investments to really, you know, do something.
That's right.
Now imagine if you had the Doggo right now. The Comet would be doing so much.
Heck yeah. R.I.P. Comet.
1 mana floating.
Another frog.
It's still legal, isn't he?
Oh, he
Or
is,
is
yeah.
it?
He is.
Yeah. It's like they banned those stickers in attractions, but dice rolling is still legal in
Yeah.
this house.
That's good, clean magic, Ben.
Take one. Draw a card.
So, Nick getting some value off his frog.
Yep. One good threat deserves another. Frogs coming in. Wastelands have stopped coming at this point.
Yep, I hit my
Exiled the
4th land
Merc,
drop.
exiled the Merc, and there's no more there's no Caracas to keep looping it. So
Comment.
I think it's a matter of time here if this game is allowed to go to time
Yeah.
before you get to do something broken.
I might even put like a single Thespian stage Dark Depths in my Cloud Coast deck just for funsies. You can. It's the same as just go Micro Spawn them, go kill. Like Rock Raj and everything too.
Cast endurance.
Yeah, this is what this deck's like. Just
Flash in endurance before damage.
do the thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
inspiration, I can actually move it a little bit. Yeah.
See what Nick thinks about this.
I mean, it's pretty easy to jump the frog, but it doesn't do anything when endurance has reach.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to pitch cards to it, but that's a little risky. You did leave up not white mana. So
Yeah. Needed the double green for endurance, so a little exposed here.
yeah, I mean, but it's not like it's super great for you if you put 3 cards into it to eat endurance and then you untap and then swords it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting any mazes. Try to stall.
Sam.
There's another Sam.
Trigger target delta.
Yep, trying to get that land back.
This will be my ring bearer. Endurance.
So we've changed over to the ring bearer, and that's a way to make endurance not be able to block you.
Move to blocks.
You can't. Yes, Skulk.
Okay.
Yep, the frog has
you're
skulk
trying,
now.
looks like you're trying to block, and he's like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
I cannot do this.
This frog is skulking.
Don't you know this frog is the protagonist?
So now we've
It is
got a
not psychic
Sam
frog. It is the psychic frog.
D. Capital P, capital F.
Yeah, you're right. I can actually make it right now. Dark Depths.
Here comes Solitude.
For a green white. For a redstone torch.
Yeah, that'll do
I
it.
mentioned it last time this deck came on stream, and like here it is again. It's like the way this deck performs with and without Caracas is like
Mm-hmm.
such a big gap, right? Like when you have Caracas, it just feels like all the wheels are turning. Like you're getting stuff back. None of your stuff can die. Like it takes 2 removal spells to kill anything. You're on top of the world. And without Caracas, it's just like spot removal, spot removal, spot removal.
I mean, he played it.
Yep, that's right.
Hope for the best.
So Nick looking to fight over this Solitude.
Draw triggers.
Yeah. Seems as though that's successful.
Yeah.
But that Solitude still drew you 2 cards. There's the power of the bean. Rearing its ugly head again. Every single one of these fights. Draw cards, draw cards.
Yep, and there's the swords.
Go.
I'm seeing a lot of removal.
I might upkeep, I'll fetch.
This game 3 is a real slog.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could.
Jason comes and he's like, can we do 4 rounds? And he's like, can we make all those 4 rounds an hour and a half?
I don't know how you do it. Like, when you go to big tournaments like Eternal Awaken or whatever and spend like 9 rounds doing this.
It's exhausting.
Like, I mean, I play Storm and I have like lots and lots of situations where I just think a lot and like have these really big turns or whatever, and that's mentally exhausting too.
Yeah,
But just the sheer volume of time
right.
you have to like sit here taking game actions and watching people take game actions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Magic players, so it's time in the round. Active players.
Alright, time in the round. We got a 4th Aerolingus gonna hit the stack.
Control 5 lands.
introduce the monarchy into the game.
C plus 3.
Sure.
Trigger, trigger.
Yep.
Putting it work.
Yeah, you know what's better than a fourth Earlingus for 3? A fourth Earlingus for 3 that draws you 2 cards.
I like it. Make 3 2/2 knights with haste.
I mean, Nick isn't really winning this race.
This is turn 0.
Walk 1 on each. Before damage. Turn stamp to my hand.
There's that Caracas loop you mentioned.
Yep, here we go.
They have trample, right?
They're 2/2s.
Oh, they do have trample.
They have trample.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So why you need real cards?
Cody pointing out that the trample damage gets through even after once he bounces Sam.
That's the right one. Move to end step. Yep. Draw from monarch.
Lavinia to my hand. This will be my ring bearer.
Get the Lavinia back in the hand.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, that should be enough to make this not a win for the control player. I think this is probably going to go to a draw from this position unless something really crazy happens.
Yeah, the other fourth Aerlingus is exiled. So we got one in the yard, one exiled. Running out of time here. Here's a Sauron's Ransom from Nick.
No fetch in play to get Mystic Sanctuary, and there are just barely enough islands to do that if it was on the table. Ring's gone all the way up to 4.
Waste the lounge.
Wasting a red source here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult to play
Here we go.
another fourth Earlingus from this point. Lavinia back out. Turn 2.
Trigger, trigger.
What's that on the stack here? Solitude? I can't see it. You just paid 5 mana for it.
So what happens on 4 with the ring bearer?
Whenever it deals damage to you, it deals you 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah, this is looking more like a draw, isn't it?
Well, it's
Yeah.
can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. That's the first one.
Greater power. Okay.
Has to be equal or
I'll pass.
Sure.
You got it?
Swords.
St.
Yeah,
Catherine
that's
gets
what we needed to
exiled.
close out the game. More
Yeah.
life gain. Yeah, we'll exile Endurance.
Here we go.
Nobody's winning this one.
Turn it to my hand.
Yeah, I mean, we're forcing the action on the Caracas here.
Can you kill me?
No.
Alright, then we die.
Yeah. GG.
GG.
And that's the game. Bit anticlimactic, but was really interesting regardless. I would have liked to see who would have won that game 3 in a natural way. 'Cause
Yeah.
both
that
those
would've
other
been-
games are good, and that was sort of getting kind of close there as well.
God damn it, Jason.
So close.
All right, let's get ready for round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least y'all make it a game.
You want to know something positive about Grief? The game would have ended.
True.
I got game 1, right?
Yeah.
I got game 1.
Why does game 1 matter?
Oh, are we finally kicking you off of the table here?
Finally. Let's get some fresh blood in here.
I think I'll because I read it and hit you.
All right. So here we have the same Esper Legends deck, but it's against lands.
I might do it.
Now this Legends deck does have plenty of interaction for Resolve Mirror Lage. At least it has swords.
Yeah, this should be an interesting matchup.
Has blockers and leaping Psychic Frog. Does have its own wastelands and it has its own wasteland loops. Not sure how many basics it's running though. Could get wastelanded itself or get turboed out.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be vulnerable to the Wasteland Life from the Lone Loop.
Even though I'm with 20 dice. Like everyone had it all up.
Ooh, Sinking is Stupor. I love that card.
Foil Sinking a Stupor.
Pitching.
I'm 3 down.
Mox is good.
Mox Diamond and maybe a fetch land.
I think it's a fetch, yeah.
Sure.
That's a Maze of Ith. Going to the bin. No, it's something else.
Targeting
It's a loam.
Sure.
Might be a Wasteland.
Zero ya. Make a clue.
Get a clue.
Basic planes and
The loam and back the maze. Okay. We're dredging the loam. We're gonna try and find more lands.
Yeah,
It
good
does
start.
qualify.
Good start from the lands player here.
Play this basic forest.
That's a forest.
I'd like the loam.
Surely it's a wasteland because that basic plains is definitely doing what it's doing. We're also getting back to Savannah.
Now Hester. I'm going to play a Mox Diamond. He was
Sure.
Playing another Mox Diamond. Discarding Maze of Ith. You probably could have discarded that first and then picked it up with the loam, but
Last game, I've seen tons of non-basics in that deck.
we're
Yeah.
probably going to be loaming a lot this game. I don't think it's very material to what's about to happen here. Shifting Woodland, Exploration, Life from the Loam. 2 arts for Exploration in the same deck.
Gotta keep them guessing.
Shifting Woodland's an interesting card for the lands deck.
Yeah, that card's
Bit
been
newer.
a really nice addition.
That's
I'll
a card from MH3 that lets you copy a permanent card in your graveyard for 4 mana if you have Delirium until end of turn. So you can mill lands to the graveyard, you can mill other permanents to the graveyard, and in a pinch at instant speed you can copy permanents.
Yeah.
A lot of utility lands too, like getting yourself an extra Maze of Ith, or even an extra.
Yeah, that's right.
What's it called?
2 less damage.
Like a wasteland or an exploration or something. Get a Dark Depths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a very
Because
nice.
it won't come in with the counters on it if you copy it that way. There's that Shifting Woodland. So I mean, we've got lands in play, we've got mana. It'd be a bit risky to try and go for a Dark Depths combo here, just straight up, because Nick has done literally nothing in this game and probably has counter spells and or other interaction.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll fetch at the end of your turn.
I would like to brainstorm. So it happens, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, you resolve Brainstorm, and that trigger goes on the stack.
In turn, I'll play Veils.
I'm gonna play land. How do I do this?
Sauron's Ransom.
There's Sauron's Ransom. I mean, that's a pretty good card in this situation.
So you look at the top 4 cards.
When your opponent's just doing nothing but playing lands, you kind of want to be playing a Factor Fiction style effect, get some stuff going on.
Yeah, get some more card advantage.
+2. Until your next turn, whenever creature attacks
It's like a Murktide, Wasteland, Underground Sea, and maybe a Spell Pierce?
My bad, sorry.
No, you're good. You get to look at the piles.
Wasteland.
1 face up, 1 face down.
One face up.
Galvanic Relay Storm 2.
Probably. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Might be a Samwise in that pile.
Samwise and Spell Pierce versus unknown cards.
Yep.
And he's good in my graveyard.
Unknown cards go to the graveyard. That is another useful part about the Sauron's Ransom, that the unpicked cards go to the graveyard.
Yeah, good point. Good for Murktide, good for Samwise.
Mm-hmm. Checking that graveyard again.
Okay.
Always a good habit. Does Samwise say that the permanent has to go to the graveyard from the battlefield?
No, I think it's just says this turn, I think.
No, it is the battlefield. Choose
Okay.
one target permanent card that was put there from the battlefield this turn. So yeah. You don't get to trigger the Samwise, but you do help with the Murktide. We're going to float mana for the Shifting Woodland. We're going to copy the Dark Depths. Oh, somehow I missed that the Dark Depths was in the yard.
Oh yeah, so we get a Merit Lage here. See if Nick has removal. He's got a full grip. There's the swords.
Yeah. That's not the order of Dark Depths I'm used to seeing, guys, so I missed that. I'm sorry. It does get sorted. We do get the Samwise out there. Get the Wasteland back. These Wasteland loops are exactly what you're hoping to do against this deck.
Yeah.
But Life on the Loam, I mean, it fights against Wasteland very, very well. Even so, though, I mean, if you're spinning your wheels, picking up a land and getting Wastelanded every turn, to a certain point, you're not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
But able to just pick up another Shifting Woodland here and just copy the Dark Depths again. Never left the graveyard. We're free to just completely set up the same thing again.
Yeah,
I like the inevitability here
follow-up.
that the Shifting Woodland brings. Like, it's a lot more efficient to do this again than to copy Dark Depths with the stage, because you have to lose both your depths and your stage, get them both back, and play them both again.
Right.
Here we just do it every single land drop if we can.
Yeah, I think Shifting Woodland gave this deck just another layer of resiliency. I'm gonna step away for 1 minute, Ben. I'll be right back.
Hey, go for it. Nick not liking the spot, passing the turn back. Ryan over here doesn't choose to copy the Dark Depths in the yard on the end step. Chooses to wait for things to happen.
If you ever wanted to try Ad Nauseam Tendrils, I'm pretty sure I have like the non-RL cards in Ad Nauseam Tendrils, aside from this.
I don't even know what the decks are.
Wasteland, your Wasteland?
That's a Wasteland. Are we wasting the Wasteland? Or are we wasting the Scrubland? We're wasting the Wasteland. We're forcing the action on the issue. That's right. Yeah, the reason we don't create the Dark Depths in the end step is because we could have Wastelanded in response. So here, by doing this, we're forcing the action, allowing us to create the Dark Depths token with impunity. Sauron's Ransom here, presumably looking for an answer to the Merit Lage. And I mean, it's easy to be like, oh, yada yada, splitting piles is hard, but here when you're looking for one specific thing, if you don't find it in the face-up pile, you're taking the face-down pile. The leaner your choice is, the more Sauron's Ransom becomes just like Ponder.
Trying to get rid of your cantrips.
Alright, what did I miss?
So Ryan wastelanded the Wasteland, and the Wasteland went into the Shifting Woodlands, and the Shifting Woodlands made a Dark Depths token in response. Nick cast Sauron's Ransom and picked up some face-down cards. Caracas coming into play, bouncing the Merit Lage.
Wow.
Yeah, the hateful side of Caracas comes out. I didn't even mention that as part of the matchup, but yeah, Caracas works on your opponent's stuff too, so... Now that that's in play, we're just doing that. I mean, we are going to loan back, presumably, Shifting Woodland Wasteland, and that Caracas isn't going to be there for long, so...
True. But it does buy Nick some time. However, Ryan is at 36 life.
That's right, because he swords the Merit Lage earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna loan back. Presumably shifting Woodland and Wasteland. Maybe also Mazavith or something. Gets a fetch land. I think that's Catacombs. Could be wrong.
No, Wasteland Caracas.
Sure.
Wasteland going on the Caracas. Yeah, you gotta get that out of here.
Yeah.
Caracas is a really important part of the matchup, but the land stack is, you know, wasting people out of the game, so.
What I wouldn't give for an exploration right now.
Response.
Cast pest control.
Destroy all.
Pest control.
Well,
Get those Mox Diamonds out of here.
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
I then like to forward.
It's true, they have been providing a lot of mana on those lone turns, but.
Yeah.
Is that a main deck pest control?
I believe so.
I mean, it does have cycling. It's not the worst card in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fetch. Yeah. Actually,
Who do you think's ahead at this point, Ben?
I thought it was the Lance player, and I guess I still do. The Life from the Loam is just going to keep going, and I think he has 2 in his hand, so...
Yeah.
I just see us as being able to pick up this, to do the Merit Lage thing over and over again here. I'm just not
I'll fetch.
seeing how Nick gets there in time. But then
Yeah.
again, I don't know. The more you loam, the fewer cards you draw. If you're just doing this over and over again, the repeated card advantage from Psychic Frog in the Ring Tempting is going to get answers in the moment. It's closer now than it was turns ago when Caracas wasn't on the board. Because while Caracas has been dealt with, it did set our Lance player back time-wise a little bit.
That's right.
That Tammy was.
Yeah, I think the advantage meter's kind of back toward the middle at this point.
I think just the problem of it just landing turn one and flipping.
We need a win probability calculation that updates real time throughout the game.
I think with Taylor, I think
Hey man, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not Stockfish.
Shuffle.
I think straight. I just like it.
You can make a Twitch overlay with a white and black slider and just fiddle
you
with
go.
it and
Yeah.
fool the viewers, but
Our patented win probability predictor.
Discard Thoughtseize to Psychic Frog.
Powered by Bin GPT.
4, loot trigger.
oh god.
Sam and Frog
Force of
getting in the combat zone.
sorry, draw trigger. My bad. Now you're
Yeah, Nick with a lot of cards in the grip.
Yep, Ryan chooses to draw rather than dredge that loam. Here's a Mazavith.
No exploration in play is a bit of a rough deal for the Lance player here. It's like, now is the part where it's like, you like to be playing like Mazavith Wasteland, Mazavith Shifting Woodlands, you
Yeah.
know, like...
Wasteland
He's like, you already have a problem.
Oof, another wasteland.
Swing for 4, loot trigger.
Dr. Web.
Yeah, on the you saw it on the Doctor Web how much I've.
Nick's chipping away at Ryan's life total.
Discard this before damage is dealt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're almost back at the starting life total for 60 card constructed.
ETB, I'll return waste. Or sorry, ETB legend roll. I'll sacrifice the one that just came in, and then trigger. I'll return wasteland to my hand, and this will take up to 4.
It's any permanent.
That went to my
The
graveyard
graveyard
from
this
the
turn.
battlefield
Yeah.
this turn. So then you'll take 4, and then the ring will deal you 3 more. So you'll take a total of 7.
Getting in there. Mazavith gone. Life total goes down a little bit.
There's a swords. That's a good draw.
Swords. Yeah, I mean, that helps. You'd certainly like to get this frog off the battlefield at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Play a Tabernacle.
Yeah, Tabernacle's not doing a whole lot at this point.
Pass my turn.
Very nice card, but
I'll pay 2.
I mean, this is a cost that we can pay.
I'll wasteland the tabernacle.
Jeez. Okay, Wasteland, I think we knew. So that's all 4 Wastelands, right?
In
Or is it
response.
3
I
maybe?
think I have not been keeping track.
Hey, Ryan's gonna try to resolve swords here.
Swords the same way.
On the Sam, we're forcing the swords. Oh yeah, the Sam represents more here because Rig's at level 4.
Yeah.
Discard Dotsies.
Doing a lot of looting and scooting.
Indeed.
And I'll draw
The
first.
loot, scoot, and boogie.
And the damage is increasing as well. Now it's definitely in the favor of Nick.
Yeah.
Before the advantage was there, but but that was with the caveat that the Lance player kind of needed to do something to sort of counteract like the cards that are being drawn here, and that hasn't happened. I mean, we've set up where we can go get another Merit Lage, but it's very difficult to believe after like 10 to 12 cards drawn that we don't have answers and or counterspell backup for those answers.
Mm-hmm.
Discard Tundra. And then before combat damage, I'll discard 2 cards to Psychic Frog. So you take 6 and then 3. 9.
Put some cards into the frog.
And I'll draw.
We're making it a 2-shot.
Go ahead.
I think that's a smart move. Give him the bad news. You've got 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
Waste in the Wasteland. Once again, we're forcing the action.
Yeah.
Oh, Wasteland the Thespian.
Take out the Shifting Woodland. Make a dude.
Nick actually targeting the Thespian stage.
Is that Thespian stage?
Yeah, so Ryan's gonna activate in response.
We love an island ponder.
Yeah, so it puts him down 2 lands after the activation. Normally he had to target the Shifting Woodland on prior turns because he had those Mox Diamonds providing the mana, but now targeting Thespian stage is good enough to force the activation. Brainstorm looking for answers.
Go back at my end step. Or back at your end step. Cast Sam.
Here comes Sam.
ETB. Legend roll this one.
We're going to make the Frog the Ring Bearer here and try and attack for lethal, I think. Doesn't take me many more cards to do that.
Psychic Frog my Ring Bearer.
No Mazavith. Nothing to do for 0 mana, I think.
Yeah, heads up sequencing by Nick here.
Combat.
I already know what's happening.
Get the Frog to 6 power.
Discard.
So I can't block,
You cannot block.
and you have to discard 5 cards.
Yeah, close game.
Let the
Well
ring
played
take
by
care of the
Nick.
rest.
Yeah,
Just put all the cards into the Frog.
because why not?
The good old, 9/9 Skulk Frog not
Right.
being blocked by a 20/20.
Yeah.
You don't see that every day.
God damn.
Yeah, that was a close game. Well played by both sides.
This is a sneaky Frog.
Lots of text.
You cannot stack.
All right, we'll jump ahead here to
I kept holding
Game
the
2.
Pesky Troll. I was like, I guess we're not seeing constructs.
Yeah, like when I saw Pest Control, I was like, main board? I was like, for what?
Yeah, I know, right? I run one
Like
main.
Delvers? Like
It hits a lot of things.
Dragon Rage Challenge?
Yeah, I mean, it hits Dragon Rage Chandler. It hits Mox Diamonds.
Cameos,
It
I
hits
guess.
it hits
I don't
Diamond.
know.
It hits a lot of things. It hits Chalice of the Void.
For payoffs. They crack the land for Taiga instead of.
I will choose not to.
It could have been. Can't have been bad
fine
lands
with
though.
this.
So that was
I'll keep-
actually.
Both players keep 7.
In case I wanted to.
Gonna play a force.
You got it.
Exploration.
It's a good one.
There's Exploration. That's going to be a stronger start with Wasteland. Put Nick under the gun to play a basic. Yep, there's a basic.
We'll play Horizon Canopy.
Yeah.
That's a Doctor Who land.
Yeah.
Of
Horizon
some-
Canopy, yeah. There's Dark
Appreciate
Depths.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Get those ice counters on it.
Sphere.
Sphere of resistance.
Slow things down a bit.
Darcy.
Yeah.
That's a rough start for Nick, I think. I don't expect him to make it through this game super easily.
Yeah, it's a hot start for Ryan.
Just kill me. It was just a rock and a hard place, this whole thing. Thoroughly embarrassing day for me.
Go.
Currently 3 card types.
Failed find target.
Yeah.
Esper.
Instead.
Yeah, no, it's just so often I O3 these things, you know?
Surveil trigger's good, yep.
I won 2 yesterday. I'm just awful.
Spin this island.
Bolt.
Yep.
Yep. Back to instant.
Nick with 3 basics.
I'll get one.
Yep, the basic swamp even.
Untap. Go. Upkeep. Draw.
Frog.
3 for a frog. Alright.
Here you go.
Plus-
You're in the stuff. I'm gonna pay life.
Go ahead.
Sack Soul Guide to draw a card.
You got it.
Sacrificing Soul Guide Lantern.
Draw a card.
Yeah.
ETB target.
Drawing that card.
Sure.
Alright, we got Shifting Woodland now.
One big old card.
Move to my turn.
Could waste our own Dark Depths and copy it. If we have Delirium.
Yeah.
Pass turn.
We got the lock pieces, we got the exploration, we got the lead that we needed.
No block.
Can we beat this frog?
Okay, going to damage. Pay 2. I'm gonna sword psychic frog.
I'm gonna try and swords it.
Can you take one?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Goes to 6.
Force pitching.
Gotta force the swords, pitching force.
I'll take another one.
I'll draw a card.
Frog comes in, draws the card.
Instead. Or
Fetch for another land. Presumably basic planes.
price you.
This is the card I really want to see a lot.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. Untap. And then I'll take. Sorry, I also
Frog.
take 2, 4.
There you go.
Another frog.
Little frog. Yeah, I mean, that's putting the pressure on.
Yeah.
Lance player needs to start making 2020s and fast.
Draw.
Here's a Woody
A couple
Footy.
of turns ago, making those 2020s would have really taxed Nick out of his resources to try and remove them
-3.
because of the sphere.
Yeah.
We're running out of time to make it like super difficult, especially if like the frogs are going to start drawing a bunch of cards.
Go ahead.
Move to my turn.
Yep.
Combat. 2.
No blocks.
Take 2.
Good motive attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Triggers.
Your
Draw 2.
What trigger happens first?
yeah. Trigger.
Well,
Do you
I'm not sure.
upon
Nick drawing 3 per turn.
Wasteland.
Aim everything at Tom. Yeah.
Okay.
Trigger.
Yeah. Real quick. Land.
Checking Delirium. If that's all that's in there, it's not on yet.
Then you're done.
We're wasting the Dark Depths. So we can't crop rotate into something.
Anyone with 3 mind bag traps in their board is a real hateful person. But the
Still need one more to find Delirium, though.
I'm just
That's just this is just the deck list I found. They ran 3.
Sorcery or
Yeah.
Trigger.
I'm too garbage.
enchantment.
Yeah.
Prismatic in the outside.
Go.
Go ahead.
Untap. Draw.
Let's take a look at the Lance player's perspective.
I don't think I'll have any one-win.
They rip one. Gonna pay some mana. Get I think that's an exploration.
Yeah, looks like a second exploration. That doesn't
This is
do
what we
much.
get when we have
Good.
5 different arts for the same card in the deck. It looks really cool on paper. It's just a lot harder to cast this way.
There's a backup Dark Depths.
Yep.
Yeah. Got a 9. Or yeah, yeah.
You almost wish you could play that exploration right into the graveyard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You
good
get
point.
delirium.
Legend rule. Oh man, another wasteland for Nick.
Combat.
Just saw swords flash from the lands player side.
Okay,
Think he's gonna go for
getting
it.
closer to delirium here.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. Yeah, there's the swords.
Yeah.
Nick's totally fine with that.
I'm good. And
Gonna get his damage in. His card in with the other frog.
discard 2 cards to this frog.
Gonna try and increase the clock. Get two excess lands that are probably getting wasted anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how that works.
See, I said no blocks, then yeah,
Right.
that's why I've been doing it.
So I get priority again
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
So in other words, yeah, I'm passing priority at that point after you've
I'll
used
take
the
an
spell.
extra 2.
I'll draw 1,
I get it.
and then I'll cast Kaya.
Now, there's
Oh, no.
the Kaya that I was talking about. I've already forgotten the name of this Kaya, even though I looked it up. But we're gonna try and exile some cards out of the graveyard here. Yeah, get those Dark Depths out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty tough for Ryan.
Yeah, that's gonna turn off the Delirium and make it so that those depths are unrecoverable by Life from the Loams. Ripping one off the top here, looking for help of any kind. I'm not sure what one card does it for you as the lands player here.
Yeah.
Have to assume that you've gotten outgrinded. The hand language says it all here. It's like, yeah, it's just sort of like a look at this guy hand gesture you just did.
Yeah, I think Ryan's in a tough spot here.
You give me too much.
2 swords. Yeah, I mean,
You play a lot of Legacy.
we're getting him out of here.
A lot more than I think.
Here comes the frog.
Yep.
I'm not that high level.
Frog father.
Going to crop rot.
We're crop rotating.
Look at the
That's a nice start.
Then you'll have a
Try and get a Mazavith.
yes.
Yeah,
Stop the bleeding a little bit. But that Kaya's got an ultimate that's, no
that's
slouch
true.
either.
That's true, yeah. Kind of a ticking time bomb, isn't it?
I will as well.
You can put a bunch of cards in exile and then dome them for like 7.
Mm-hmm.
Delver.
She just doesn't sleep very good yet. She's still figuring it out. So
Cast Ponder.
Makes sense.
For 2.
Yep.
How does a 2-cost ponder feel good?
Pretty bad.
Feel pretty
Pretty
good.
bad. Feels pretty
Get
bad.
1 card for 2 mana.
I know.
Ponder. Ponder that card.
You have me on the ropes. I'm just trying to stabilize.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the Flesh Reaker is like a secretly like crazy card in Eternal format.
Thespian stage.
I
Thespian
think that's a
stage.
Thespian stage, yeah.
Keep trigger on the stack.
Well, like
Yeah.
the artifact decks.
what?
The artifact deck.
Yeah, like you just like shuffle Sensei's Divining Top, you get 2 of them and like you
Not copying anything of much import.
or you don't even need that.
Yeah.
Probably happy to have another land with Mazavith abilities in case Nick drops another frog or something, but
What? Like
hoping to find another Dark Depths, but Nick probably has an answer for that too. You're under the gun.
I'll cast Brainstorm.
There's a brainstorm. Sphere of Resistance not getting anybody down here. Everyone's just got the lamps to pay for their stuff. That card really gets me down as a Storm player, I'll tell you that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I did not.
You're like,
I was not trying to edit your life total. I don't think.
no, I thought that you were trying
Yeah,
to swipe
you
the
should read
message.
that card.
I thought it was your phone.
It does a lot.
Sorry. I was overthinking it.
Oh,
One time, yeah.
okay.
Basic mountain.
Sorter.
That's my pride and joy. Taylor would be
That's
proud.
good. Draw.
You've come around to the basic
I
mountain.
have come around to the basic mountain. Darcy.
Yeah.
This card, I need to shuffle it one more time. Sorry, this card was on the bottom. It's over here.
plus Kaya, targeting Soul Guide Lantern and Crop Rotation.
Can I exile some more cards from the graveyard? Just shut down the Delirium as definitively as we possibly can here.
While also charging up to the Death Star.
Oh yeah.
Play Wasteland.
There are not 11 cards to exile though, so we are going to need a little bit of help to get over the finish line here.
Yeah, true.
Go ahead.
And step out Wasteland and Mazabeth.
Wasting Mazabeth? Probably gonna copy that.
Can I copy of Mazabeth?
Sure.
It's fine. It's just fast. But like this one isn't as much about
Can
attacking.
I copy of Mazabeth?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So that's kind of what the deck.
Instant artifact creature.
Can I see your exile power real quick? Okay. My go.
Yeah, you win. Probably.
Discard.
Can get the explorations with the -1s. We are gonna get a free attacking with the frog though, since we never copied Mazabeth on the prior turn of this being wastelanded. We're gonna dome for the rest. Looks
Good
like
game.
that's the ball game. Yep.
He's bound to teeter out. It was doing
Esper
way too
Legends
good.
grinds out lands in the end.
Like,
Interesting
I
matchup,
too many
but
times in a row.
Right.
it's not the draw the lands player needed at the right times.
I'm really surprised I beat that.
Yeah.
Shifting woodland.
Yeah, Nick was able to
Yeah.
stay just ahead.
Yeah, I thought I had you for sure on that.
All right, we got the last one here.
I was like, you can keep.
What's
All
this?
right, let's get
You're
set
back
up.
on the. You're back on the stage.
I'm back.
With more
We'll live forever.
back
bro.
going to time.
We'll see.
Good shit though.
Full disclosure, actually, I left the event before it ended this time, so I don't know if we go to time. You'll find out when I do.
That's right. No spoilers here. All right, here we go. The fourth and final round.
He has to be aggressive with it.
Will be me on the left, 4-color Beanstalk control, and Ryan on the right on lands.
Planes. We're all about it.
It's fair game.
Victory.
Are we doing odd even or high roll?
Yeah. You pick.
We've been doing odd even all day.
Yo, Gherkin, welcome.
High roll. I'm gonna set this in. You want high roll?
Florida Legacy Club represent.
Ryan. I'll go first. All right.
Good luck, Ryan.
You too.
We are in round 4, fourth and final round of our Legacy Monthly we had. Was it last weekend, Ben?
Yeah, it was last weekend. I'm keeping it, just deciding what to buy.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean,
Go ahead.
things. I guess.
How does control versus lands feel for you in general, Jason?
Whoa.
Very tough matchup. It's basically 4th Aerlingus or bust.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like. You don't want to get wasted out. You don't want to deal with, uncounterable landage combos and have to rely on swords and leyline binding. Especially with, those shifting woodland loops, right? Like, that we just saw against Nick. I mean, those look pretty good against you.
Yeah,
If I'm
exactly.
being perfectly honest.
I have no idea.
Yeah, any deck like this that likes to go long, I'm going to struggle with because I can't typically close the game out fast enough.
Pitch that and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad to have you, Gherkin, and hopefully look forward to seeing you at the September monthly.
Play this Mox Diamond. Yep. Pitching the jukebox.
Yeah.
Looks like a Ghost Quarter and a Mox Diamond from Ryan.
And exploration.
I would like to play a thespian stage. Yeah.
And thespian stage.
Draw.
Pretty
I
hot
mean,
start.
Ghost Quarter is an interesting one, especially if you're recurring it, right? I mean, they'll run out of basics eventually, and then you can start getting the basics. I think.
Float the white.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That part, but you are correct.
Double fetch land. Way to protect myself, at least for now.
But soon you gotta crack them. I mean, you got to get a Beanstalk in play, right? Like this is one of the only ways that you can sort of outvalue the land's opponent is if you put enough Beanstalks in play.
Yeah.
I'm going to float a colorless. Tap a green. Going to crop rot. Sacking ghost quarter.
Or crop rotating the Ghost Quarter.
Yeah.
End of turn. We're gonna try and go for the nuts here. Play another land and copy for Merit Age.
Yeah, crop rot resolves.
Repurpose their own. Oh, good. Brainstorm. Yeah.
Savannah.
You know this is by far the worst card in the deck, right?
I think we have a colorless floating.
I was even scared of this.
Use the crop rot to pick up a Savannah.
Colorless floating. And a green. Loam.
Mine's that damage?
Targeting.
Gonna go loam.
Ghost quarter.
Oh, so it wasn't in a turn. That was a sorcery. Yeah, this is your turn. You're gonna negate the loam.
Yeah.
Always good to negate the loam. That is one of the few advantages you have in this matchup.
Yeah, very lucky to have
Alright.
force negation at that point.
Jason's like, slow your roll.
You don't run too many in the main board, do you? Just one?
I run 2.
Okay, 2 is good.
Yeah. Here's your surveil land. Get some little bit of value.
Oh yeah.
I thought you like had a sideboard.
Love those surveil lands.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Surveil trigger.
Which land will he top
Put
down?
that on top. On top. Upkeep. Draw.
I think we just take the frog. Yeah. Make sure that's the only castable thing at the moment.
Land. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh.
For you.
12.
Play the shifting woodland. And this other exploration. Yeah.
Another exploration.
Yeah.
Don't need that many of those.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he has cards in hand either.
Needed the loam.
So this is where you maybe get the chance to bite back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Got a
Trying to
window.
stock up with swords
This is where you play.
to deal with the first Merit Age. Not getting wasted out of the game, not getting loamed out of the game.
Yep. Gherkin, I'm running 1 surveil land. Could potentially add the blue-white surveil land. I've considered that.
I just have to assume here that we're going to time now. If you win game 1, it's just a foregone conclusion to me.
Did I draw a card, or is it?
You draw a card. Does it say
Local?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to go turbo. Yeah.
My turn, I guess, soon.
4 mana. Let's see what we got here.
I'm sitting here saying like, oh yeah, we could do coverage for 2 events tonight. I'm sitting here solo commentating 4-hour Legacy Monthly.
Yeah, these have been some grindy matches for sure.
This is what happens when I, scrub out 0-3.
Yeah,
And
we need you at the top table to move this along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 1.
Yeah, Gherkin, definitely grabbing the basics to respect Wasteland here. So here's a 4th Aerolingus. That is one way to end the game.
Yep, X equals 2. No Beanstalks in play, but Lance player showing a sign of weakness. You can start attacking now. Like these 2/2s are non-trivial. Saga tokens though, that's a way for the Lance player to come back. Like, they're gonna start getting big and blocking these 2/2s and becoming a threat in their own right. And there's really not much you can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Saga's definitely a good draw for Ryan there.
Monarchs. It's gonna take a bit for them to go off though, and even this first Saga token can't block profitably without making them all smaller. So he's letting you draw a bunch with the Monarch before it gets to that point. So definitely a tough deal.
I would like to end response
let's make a construct token to block one of your guys.
It makes saga tokens.
Okay.
I wonder if you can consider having Thespian Stage copy Urza's Saga on the turn that you play Saga.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if Thespian Stage picks up both of the Saga abilities, right, and then turns into a copy of something else, it won't gain the third chapter and it won't have to sacrifice itself. It'll just permanently be a land that has the ability to make artifact constructs.
Yeah, that's definitely a
I
nice
think that's a
play in
pretty
this
good
deck.
deal.
So Solitude comes in, takes care of one token. Ryan's going to make another construct on his turn.
Yep. Grab something like a Soul Guide Lantern, I think. That's what I would grab. I would just take that fourth year Lingus out of the graveyard and say, Mystic Sanctuary, you have no purchase here.
Yeah. See what Ryan gets here. Goes for the Shadow Spear.
I mean, Shadowsphere is also respectable. The Trample's really nice for taking control of the Monarch, and the Lifelink is really good for staying alive, so
Yeah.
I can respect that. It's just, I feel even with the Shadow Spear, another fourth year Lingus, especially with the amount of mana that you have, would be pretty backbreaking at this point. Man, at this point, the Thespian Stage would be allowed to be starting to make constructs on its own. With the Maze Event and those constructs, I think that would be a real endgame plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. That would be a nice
You still have to deal with
inevitability.
the Monarch, but like that's the trouble, right? Like that's the reason you want to grab Shadow Spear is that like this Monarch is just too backbreaking to leave on the field under your opponent's
True.
control here.
No, we're gonna tap Terminus 2. Tap a little bit.
I'm sorry, yeah, man. I'm just like I'm
Left on top.
checked out. I'll take it.
Tap 2. Or Beanstalk.
Yeah.
There's the Bean.
Draw him in the last round. Get him.
Well, your attack isn't profitable, so yeah, you just gotta pass it back.
The real way to screw up is to write the wrong name. Yeah, put the wins under the wrong name.
Ryan just needs more artifacts and more creatures. Get another Urza Saga out there, make another couple of constructs. Maybe copy that one when it comes into play. But without any of that, I mean, you're also obviously trying to get Marillage into play, but again, like, surely there are swords and bindings ready to go for this. Yeah, there's a sword ready to go for that.
Yep, so we clean up the construct token.
And you don't generally make a play like this without having a second swords available for Merit Lage. That's a cycled Xander's round, I believe, is what just happened.
Yeah.
Just looking for more action. More lands.
Fetch land representing Mystic Sanctuary.
Yep.
That
More
line
tagging
you
for
were talking
7.
about.
Yep.
Catch crop rot.
We're crop rotting something. Gonna try and make a 2020, I guess. That's some kind of counter spell, I guess.
Yeah, force a negation in the glare there.
Oh, you actually just paid for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instant draw.
Hey, Boardwalk. Good evening. Thank you for the raid. Hope you guys had a good stream.
We're just finishing up coverage of our Paper Legacy monthly event. This is the final round over here. Game 1, Control versus Lands.
Thrilling, exhilarating magic.
I fetch Mystic Sanctuary. I put fourth Eolingus on top. I play fourth Eolingus for checks notes 6.
That's good. Make a bunch of dudes. Okay. Good game.
And that'll get the concession
Yeah.
from Ryan. Good game.
Hey, thanks for coming out. See ya. I knew you had to
Listen, everyone read that part of Lord of the Rings where Theoden gave his great speech and then sent 2 horses in, and it wasn't good enough. And so he had to give the speech again. And this time, we had all of the horses ride. And that,
Exactly.
there we go.
Exactly. Second time the charm. So for this matchup, sideboard, I bring in a second copy of Fourth Aerlingus. I do have a dress down in the sideboard for construct tokens. What do we think the Lance player's bringing in here?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine. You're probably okay bringing in spheres. You're probably okay bringing in Besages for like bindings and what's it called? Beanstalks.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, top 4. It's prizing.
I am not an experienced player of non-combo decks, but lands I may know the least about when it comes to like very established legacy decks.
Yeah, same here. Very interesting, very unique deck, and I have never piloted it.
Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. We'll run it. Okay. Force.
Shout out to the lands enjoyers. We got a few in our region.
Oh yeah. Heck, I'd play anything, but you know, I mean, his legacy is just crazy expensive.
Forest Pass from Ryan, and here's a Tundra Brainstorm. Yeah.
Go ahead. Where's the size?
That's a Saga. Yep. Saga Gaming.
Yeah, that's a good one for Ryan for sure.
Yeah.
But the Beanstalk is conversely good for you. Get some cards in the air there.
Oh, another Saga. Wow.
A little diminished return there, but you know, I mean, it'll make another construct. It'll make its own one construct before it goes away at any rate.
Go ahead. What's your next step? I'm gonna make a construct.
Yeah. We make one construct, we draw, we go and make another construct, presumably. Feels like that's what we're sitting here to do.
Yeah.
Make some windmills.
Okay.
The windmill slam.
Oh, yeah. Gonna go find an artifact.
I'm gonna fetch
You
in
might be
response just in case he
Surveil
grabs
land.
Pithing Needle.
Yeah. You only need to get got by Saga Pithing Needle once to know when you gotta respond to that shit. Like,
Yeah. Ooh, he gets the Swift Spear boots. That's a good way to press the issue on the life total.
the Lava Spur boots, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can't equip that just yet. I think we need another land first. But it's pretty nice. I mean, like, yeah, we get the woodland in there, we do this, and I mean, it's no Shadow Spear, but like, getting you to attack on turn 4 for 7 with these boots is interesting. Yeah, you have to target the other one because it's got Ward 1. You could have bindinged in response to the equip, and that would have wasted the mana and worked out just as well.
Yeah, good point.
But that definitely thinned the clock quite a bit here. The difference between taking 3 and 7 or 2 and 7, as it were, is quite a lot here. You're getting another construct, another artifact entering the field, and that construct is going to get equipped with the boots. So
Yeah, and at this point, I'm realizing I failed to bring in Dress Down, so I'm going to be counting on my white removal spells. Dress Down is sitting harmlessly in my sideboard at this point. I'm going to have to pay you overtime for this one, Ben.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Your rate goes up.
Completely forgot about that part. It's like, wait a second. Let's think about it. Wait a second. That's just not that's not on just creatures, is it?
Ryan's got a
This is it.
construct army.
You get the best of the best on here. We elevate the status of the Florida Legacy Club. More people come. That's reward enough, you know?
There you go. That's all the payment I need.
Mm-hmm.
Inner spots.
All right,
Swapping the
just as I
boots.
said, the boots are coming, and we're responding to the equip trigger this time. We're trying to get both of them off the board. Well, we're going to respond to the one equip trigger, and then presumably do the other one after the thing resolved. That's the
Yeah.
way that you kind of want to be doing this, but
Right.
I think it's sort of being understood that this is what's happening, because, you know, as pedantic as people can be sometimes, Magic players are human beings. And we do understand what we're saying to each other. With no creatures on the board, I mean, the white removal spells did their jobs. He's going to have to find something else. Lava Spirit Boots does make a Merit Lage activation a lot more threatening, though.
Yeah.
As much
For
as you
sure.
didn't want to tap out before, you definitely don't want to tap out now.
Immediately taps out.
Yeah, here come the horses.
So what do we get? 3 horses here and a draw?
So if we play Thespian Stage and we crop rotation, we don't have enough to also equip the boots. So you would need another source of mana like a Mox Diamond or something in order to come in with a Merit Lage from nothing right now.
Yeah, good point. There's the stage.
I think Shifting Woodland after copying Urza Saga is a non-bow. Like, it doesn't do anything. Although maybe it works much like the Thespian Stage, where if you do it in your upkeep, you go to the main phase and you get an ability, and then you stop being a copy, but you still have the ability. And then you do it again, and then you permanently get to make constructs.
That would be nice. So Life from the Loam gets met with Force and Negation again.
Yep.
Same as
Always
game
a good
1.
time. The horses are definitely going to keep coming. Got like 3 or 4 turns with the horses before it starts being before you're out of the woods. Beanstalk drawing another card. Doing the Beanstalk things.
We're beaning.
Ponder, yeah. Looking for white removal, probably. Didn't like what we saw there.
Chalice in like pretty much any of these blue and white matchups is always very good because it just takes out a lot of the interaction that they can do.
I mean, because I kept the hand with 2 swords for theirs, and they just got shut off.
Right.
Combat.
So really, Chalice is just a force check. Sword check. Trying to lead with that.
Sword's one of the tokens.
But I didn't really bring in a ton. Maybe there was other things I could
Get the clock reduced a little bit. But not so much, really. I mean, your problem in this position is the monarchy.
Right. There's Dark Depths.
There's Dark Depths. I mean, we can make the Merit Lage whenever we want to. It's just, it's got mana floating. We're going to try and do it. We got the Lava Spur Boots. Now is as good as time as any. Next turn is just going to be more interaction, more Monarch draws. But here we're just binding. Did you get your Beanstalk draws in for that binding?
I think so. Although it looks like I drew 1, maybe not 2.
My eyes are driving me wrong.
Yeah, I think I got 1. I'm not sure if I got both of them.
Otherwise, I was like, I really don't want to like ley line.
There's a fetch land. Oh, there's another 4th. So I was pretty fortunate to find the force of negations for loam both games and find the fourths pretty quickly.
Yep, and we've got another Mystic Sanctuary ready for even more. Like I just don't see how we're getting out of this as the Lance player. We blew our Thespian Sage Dark Depths. We have Shifting Woodland in play to go for another Versionist, but we still need extra mana to equip Boots and attack. And I mean, you've just got so many cards in hand. One of which I think is an Endurance, another of which I think is White Rule. Yeah, I mean, Exploration. I mean, that's going to be more lands, but hasn't been playing like he has a ton of lands to play. That's a tapped land of some variety.
Bajuka Bog, that's a good one. Probably a little too late though.
He's a Bith, yeah, that's 6 tokens right there.
Like at the same time, you give me, you give me like red poison stone.
Two games, man. Pitching lands.
Whereas you give me that deck, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
All right, that'll do it. 4-color Beanstalk takes down the tournament.
Yep. Congratulations, Jason.
Thank you, sir, and thank you
When I
for.
was talking about having the best of the best on, I meant you. You crushed it. You'll continue to crush the Eternal Weekend. You've been putting in a lot of work in Legacy, and definitely shows.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thanks for your commentary tonight. Always a great time. Chat, thanks for hanging out. Everybody have a good evening. Signing off here.